My. Happy Sunday. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Yeah, I know it's been, a couple of weeks, but as you guys know, when this season come in, you did, baby? All right. When the season come in, I'm a little busy, but it's okay. I miss you too. So, we're going to get to business. We're going to get to business because Mr. Aaron decides to do an interview or update. So I haven't seen it or heard it. So this will be my first time hearing it. And I know most of you guys probably seen it, but we're gonna pretend like y'all ain't seen it. Okay. Okay. We're gonna pretend like y'all ain't see it. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to start the show, baby. We get ready to start this show. I don't know where you left it at, Jack. This is brought to you. He did this interview on my boy Max V World Media. Max V World Media. So we want to see what he have to say. Oh no, I had got a paint job and stuff, and I can't find my phone. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys. And now that I found the phone, I don't know what they did with my chargers. So my phone is dead. I mean, I'm sorry to use that word, but I'm talking about a phone, YouTube. Hey, puzzles pieces. Happy Sunday to you too. So I'm looking for that. I'm gonna have to just go buy another charger. But it's been like really busy. But if you notice, everything goes directly to the voicemail. So sorry, guys. But okay, baby. So I want to see if I want to know if is like what's really going on. Because the main thing is, I think the main thing everybody want to know if y'all really tired of this situation. Are you guys testifying? So I don't know. Like I said, I have not seen it. So this is going to be my first time seeing it. And if you guys seen it, but act like you didn't see it, okay? Now let's go. But that's the main thing. Is y'all gonna let him walk away from this abuse or not? Point blank and period.
long process, man. And I'm thinking 2025, man. But that's the latest. I mean, something could develop before then, but I wouldn't be surprised if nothing happens this year. And yeah. When is the next court date gonna be? Anybody know? September? I don't know.
Is that a toilet?
Yeah.
You mean
Of enforcing this. Somebody told me they can hold you in contempt. They could arrest you until after the trial is over. We don't know when this trial going to start.
It's next.
See, when people say pre-trial,
Oh,
okay, it's getting close.
nexty.
Well, I know a case that's been in pre-trial for the past 3 years.
All right, baby.
So that's
Hey,
why I keep
next.
saying maybe 2025 if he's lucky. I mean, the latest. That's my latest, 2025. I said this in the beginning. I still got the video when I said that. I said, this case will go to trial in 2025 or 2026. People are like, you crazy. No, I'm not. They got other cases they working on. You know, this is not their only case.
True.
Meaning the state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's at, man. All the other stuff are surrounding. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of speculation on other stuff, but I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, man. I just kind of stay in my own lane over here, and that's it.
Like, exactly.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'll check around and see when is the next. But you know, whenever they post it, then we'll know when the next court date. But right now, I don't see it. I just see the 29th, and that's today. Crazy, man. And he probably was thinking, okay, something is going to happen today. And guess what?
Nothing.
He back in his cell. That's
nothing.
How it worked.
Nothing.
They are
nothing.
Man. Some of these locales are notorious. Here, you can get a pretty quick process around in this state, but each state is different. So he is at the mercy of the system right now. So just imagine, like, if you were in his shoes, right?
I don't want to imagine.
You ready for some progress?
Oh,
and
well.
they say, well, we had to continue this day, but let's make the next date September 15th. That's the next court. Can you imagine what that'll do to your psyche?
We don't want to imagine. Look what he did to people's psyche.
Could you imagine that?
No, we don't want to.
If you were in his shoes,
Nope.
September 15th.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
September 15th come around. Okay, let's something happened. Someone is on vacation. Someone has another trial. You know, there's other trials going on. Let's make it November 12th. Let's do that. Yeah. All right. All parties agree. Yeah. November 12th. November 12th come around. Some things happen. Now we're heading into the holidays again. Let's make it January 15th.
Oh, man. You mean 3 good? 3 good is not a priority? You mean he's not a priority? You mean he's not top on the list because he's good? Because he's good. Amen. Amen. Well, we're going to skip a little bit to the interview. Here we go. We're going to get to the interview. Ew.
Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
What's going on, man? How it sound? It sound good, or do I got background noise? Am I clear?
Oh, you're clear. Yeah, you're super clear.
Good.
So how you been doing?
Man, I've been putting myself back together in the best way I know how with the resources that's available.
Right.
I got my family around me now, a lot of familiar faces.
Nice.
I've seen, tune me back into who I actually am. And also doing a lot of research on cults in general, because I think that when people hear the word cult, they pretty much minimize it to Jim Jones and Charles Manson, but man,
No. We don't minimize a cult to Jim Jones and Charles Manson. Y'all did that. We know about the other cults. Y'all didn't know about no cults. Don't come speaking for us with your education, Aaron. Okay? Do not come speaking for us with your newfound education. We know there's plenty of other cults. Y'all didn't know about cults. That's what probably you thought, not us. When we was trying to tell you about that particular cult, see, we know how to identify the different cults. You're just learning now. Okay? Okay, let's go.
and cults is a big deal, and it's especially a big deal to me because I was actually directly involved in one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, man, I've been taking it one day at a time. You
Okay.
understand
That's all you can do,
what I'm
one day at a
saying?
time. Especially
And I
in this day
have
and
been,
age. Everybody got to do that.
yeah,
Hey, Saint
definitely,
baby.
and I have been following this case
Okay.
like I work for the criminal justice department. Like, I mean,
You've been in it.
I've
Yeah.
been on it. Yeah, and at first I had a lot of back and forth, like, should I be disinvolved? Should I move on? Should I let it go? But I had to accept that, no matter how much time goes by, I'll never forget that situation. You understand what I'm saying? That I'll never be the same,
Ooh, thank you,
because of that.
puzzles.
Right.
And it's up to
Thank
me
you, Nexie.
whether that's going to be to my detriment or to my
Thank you.
success.
I mean, the way you're handling it, like you're handling it well. You're handling it very well. And like you said, you're taking it day by day. Next 2 years from now, it'll slowly, everything will slowly get better. It's like everything is relative to the person. So we all got our struggles, and like you said, taking it day by day, that's the way to go.
Definitely. And I haven't uh, been treating it like it was some type of joke, like it was some type of game, like
Mhm.
that didn't really happen, because it did. It's real. If you're on the outside looking in, you can turn it off and go laugh and go on about your life, but I can't never turn it off.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can't never turn it off and just go on about my day. But the thing that has helped me the most is alchemizing this situation into something beneficial. You know,
Right. Do you think
Mhm.
your experience with the military will helped you a little bit?
Mm-mm.
Like,
Nope.
I would
Mm-mm.
say
No.
that it contributed to me going
Thank you,
into it,
Nexie.
staying in there, and getting out at the same time.
and getting out right. Yeah,
'Cause
because you have that like to fall back on, like because you have your struggles, but you appear to be strong. You know what I mean? And I was thinking maybe your military
Nope.
experience has something to do with it.
Nope.
well, this is what I feel
Absolutely
like.
not.
I don't think nobody is particularly stronger than anybody else, but I think that some people have been pushed to
Mhm.
positions where they have to tap into that strength, whereas other people may simply not have gone to
Okay.
that point yet.
Right.
So I don't consider myself to be particularly stronger or more intelligent or better than anybody. I just think that I've been put in certain positions where I had no other choice but to find that out for my own self.
Right. You will be able to help someone else that's going through it, like in the future, like with your experience, you will be able to be some type of guidance to someone that maybe.
The only way you can really help if you are in part of putting this weather and this air quality is so bad. I'm telling you, I don't know what state y'all in, but this state, I'm telling you, the air quality is terrible. People coughing, people got headaches, people ready to pass out. I mean, they literally dizzy. Maybe we got to go get us some oxygen or something. This is terrible. So if I'm coughing, that's this air quality we have. I don't know. I know it's in other states too. But I would say, as I was saying, the best way to get over this, you can't truly get over it unless you have amends for the part that you played, for everything that you have watched and everything that you have allowed. Hey, Blanchy Pooh. That's my Pooh Bear. That's my Pooh baby. But anyway, so once you sit up there and you go there and say, hey, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is the part that I played. Can I get some, what is that word? Animosity, not animosity. Immunity. Can I get some immunity? Because I got some things to say. The air there too. Blanche. Oh, especially when the weather's changing, pollen is falling, and now it's so hot. So it's crazy. Yeah, that's what we got too, Blanche. We got a haze. We got the haze too. So I guess that's everywhere. But like I was saying, like I understand you want to help somebody, but the only way to help it, you got to start with you. You have to start with you first. That's why a lot of things I would never participate in. I would not participate in certain things. I just wouldn't do it because as time go by, it could be years or something later, and just to know that you was part of that, taking somebody down or whatever, or going along with abuse that we have seen every day, and the crimes that I'm not talking about what people do to themselves, I'm talking about what they do to other people and stuff like that. And it was a lot of things, a lot of abuse that went down over there. And he was the him and Musa was they was the clone of Nature Boy. They were his clones at that time. And then all the stuff, every time he looked at his son, he got to see how he put his son in that predicament, and it was okay. And it was okay. So that's the main thing. If you're gonna do nothing else, you should do it for your son. You ain't gotta do it for us. Do it for your son. So your son you could now tell your son, this is what I did about it. This is what I did to the man that I let hurt you. Daddy got you. That's how you get out of that predicament. But let's carry on. Like I said, I did not see the interview. So it's my first time seeing it and hearing it. So you guys act like you're hearing it for the first time too. All right. And shout out to Max. Shout out to Max V. Max V. Well, let's go.
Need it.
And the thing about it is that being around somebody that is the complete opposite of how I want to be is actually a form of motivation in itself, because I feel like ultimately everybody teaches you something, no matter who you come across.
I agree.
Young or old. But I feel like in simple terms, what people teach you is either what to do and how to be, or what not to do and how not to be.
Right.
And being around Eligio Bishop, Nature Boy, however you want to refer to him, it has taken me to a place of what not to be, so much so that I have a newfound perspective on how far you can get in life by simple things as respecting somebody, saying, yes, sir, no, sir, just treating because we spent so much time trying to make everybody else outside our immediate group inferior. You're inferior because your hair is this. You're inferior because you date this person. You're inferior because you work this job. But the thing about it is that the need to make somebody inferior is only a statement of how little you think of your own self.
Right.
My self-confidence is not connected to making you small. So therefore, I don't have no desire to do that. And I'll say this is that stepping away from that group, it has really allowed me to see what it was we was doing, what it was we was saying. Because when you so up close on something
Mhm.
and you in the midst of it, it's really hard to process everything that's going on.
You may get a little excited when you shop at Burlington.
Right. It's understandable. Like it's hard to process, but time, that's what you have, time on your side
I'm telling you,
to continue to process it. You're doing it right. I mean, hey man, you're human at the end of the day. You know, we all gonna have our past and we're gonna have our peaks and valleys and but being that you're willing to talk about it is awesome. Before you continue, can you just let people know about your book?
oh yeah, I got a book called Greatness is a Habit. It's an ebook. I didn't even bother to try to
You
get
get
it
excited
printed
when you
because
shop
it's so
first.
short.
Hmm.
I wanted to make a book that was digestible for people who don't really like to read that much,
Hmm.
or people who may be intimidated by large books. And the point of the book was a way for me to be creative and for me to express myself, as well as I don't like being a spectator in life. When I see somebody doing something, I consider it to be an invitation that it can be done, not just by them, but the possibility of it being able to be done and open for anybody.
Probably.
So a lot of my mentors, I look up to them and I see the things they're doing, and I'm like, why I can't be up there? Not to compete with you, but just to put myself up there. And when I go to Apple Books, I'm scrolling through and I see Eric Thomas, I see, Napoleon Hill.
Right.
I'm like, why I don't see my name up there?
Now your name there.
You're working on it.
I'm like, just put the book up there, bro. It don't have to be a
Right.
New York Times bestseller. But I think about my son and I'm like, it's bigger than the book. It's
Right.
showing him that it's possible, right? Where, it's possible for you too.
Right.
You don't have to look at Michael Jordan and say, man, you could be like, shoot, I can get there too.
You
Right.
know what,
Anywhere you gotta
Blanche?
go, if somebody's been, they
Get
paved
a
the
saint.
path for other people to follow. So I feel like
Get a saint. Get a saint. Oh, get a saint. Get a saint. How she said you ain't read it. Because it's a pop-up book. Oh my goodness, I miss y'all. Boy, do I miss y'all. I miss y'all. And then I'm oh gosh, I'm like up to like, I got like 40 kids so far, right? So I don't know. I wanted to do like, I don't know. And then sometimes more kids come in. So, hey, Miss Leo, baby. Hey, love. Oh, Miss Leo, I need one of them cups with a ginger ale. What am I? I'm a ginger ale. Either ginger ale sticker on one of them things, or my ruby red grapefruit juice, girl. Oh, them things is hot. Them I'm gonna show you guys later. She got some nice I keep calling them cups, but they not cups. They what's the tumblers? The tumblers, the hot and cold tumblers. Boy, she got some new ones out that is out. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Because I had now I got to look at Miss Leo. She does great work. We will be looking at the tumblr. I said it too late. But baby, I was like, oh, she making it looks like a can or whatever. You guys got to see it. It's it's perfectly done. It's perfectly done. It's perfectly done. I'm gonna show you guys later, like when we get like through half of this, and we're gonna do like a break time. I would definitely let you see it. So I probably think I probably do like the ruby red. I don't care, but I just love it. I just love it. I just love it. I like what she do. And then she got the shirts. the baby shirts. I'll probably be showing it later, but I just looked at it the other day, right? And when I like something, I can't stop talking about it. You guys know me already, right? So I guess I'm telling you guys before you see it. But she got the little cute little onesies for the babies, and she got the little sayings on it. Oh, but you don't have to, if you ain't got no kids, it's okay. She'll hook you up with a shirt or something like that. Don't worry about it. Miss Leo got you. But I love this, sis. I really did love it. You know how I love your work. Let's go.
That book was a statement to my own self, not to make sales because it's only 99 cents. It's not to be famous. It was just for me to look up and say, dang.
I'm gonna do a smell test. Let's see what's better. The cologne I've been using for 3 years that was gifted to me by my mother-in-law, or
Bro, you can do it.
Now it's on Apple Books.
That's it. That's the only place it's on, Apple Books.
So guys, you can go to Apple Books, and what's the name of the book again?
It's called Greatness is a Habit. I got like this page that I'm on. I literally just made this YouTube page because I finally decided,
Miss Rod,
after taking a break and after stepping away, to get back involved on the internet and social media. And
Nice.
the link to the book is actually in the top right corner on my YouTube banner on this page right here. But it's Greatness is a Habit ebook on Apple Books, 99 cents.
Can you at some point
99
can you
cents?
put
That's
your
not
link
bad.
in the
99 cents,
private
guys.
chat? And
Yes.
then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link it to everybody, and then so everybody can get your link and then also subscribe to you.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, I like that you back on YouTube because people want to hear from you.
Yes, please. Puzzle pieces. Nexie, please. I know. Check out my girl. I'm her number one supporter. I think Ms. Ryder's her number one supporter, but I'm her number one cheerleader. And our season is coming up. So, towards the end of this month, if me and Miss Leo start acting a little bit crazy, just know I only got 98 cents, girl. Bye. Girl, I can't stand y'all. Oh, your first grandbaby. Holy snap! Oh, it's gonna be a Leo. Tell her to hold on. Tell her to hold on to the 23rd. Damn it! Tell her to hold on to the 23rd. Yes. Oh my God, we're gonna have a party up in here. I'm telling you guys, she'll have her grandbaby coming and say, I gotta definitely support her. We gotta definitely support Miss Leo. We're gonna party. I'm gonna pick out something and have her make it. I'm gonna pay for it and then give it to the grandbaby. That's how I'm gonna do that. And she better make it the way I say it for the grandbaby too. Girl, please, Miss Rod, please. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. You can't stop. That's one season you can't stop, baby. You can't stop it. Put some cognac in them ginger ales. You know what? I got you. For the end of this month. Say less. Say less. Say less. See, you would have been able to hold it if it wasn't going to be, if it wasn't Leo season, if it was being as Leo season, you can't hold it. If the baby come after the 23rd, if it come before the 23rd, then you would have been able to hold it, right? You would have been able to keep it mum. But being as Leo season, you can't, it's so excited. You cannot hide it. No. You know what, girl, bye. Girl, I gotta give you a buzz too. I gotta give you a buzz. I'm gonna get me a charger for my phone. So if anybody, I told all you guys, I'm sorry. I told you guys the house got painted. And then when I finally found my phone, I don't know where the chargers is at. So I'm sorry. I love you guys. But if somebody was trying to get in contact with me, I will be getting a charger. Yes, please shop.
Not just about they just want to hear what you up to now. They want to hear from you.
Yeah,
And
and
you have experience with social media, so it wouldn't be particularly hard for you to you know, pick back up on social media whenever you want.
right, and the thing about it is that this time I have full control over what I decide to do and what I decide not to do, who I decide to talk to, who I
Right.
decide not to talk to. So, and I'm also not protecting a fabricated identity.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything to defend. I don't have nobody to compete with. I don't have to debate nobody. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to intellectually dominate nobody. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a facade to upkeep.
That's good.
So it makes social media that much more enjoyable rather than an anxiety filled presentation of,
Right.
let me make sure I say the right thing. Let me make sure I come up with a defense mechanism when people
Mm-hmm.
start asking questions that I don't have answers to. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome because people definitely want to hear from you. Now you mentioned that you started studying cults. I have this thing about cults as well. And like you said, most people when they think about cults, they immediately probably look at Charles Manson,
And
Heaven's
just
Gate.
don't.
Yeah. And you know, I started looking into like how churches could be like that as well. Like
Bro, you
there's a
can be,
small church out where I am out here.
yeah.
Man, it's like a cult, man.
Listen, bro, you can be in a cult with you and your mama and your dad.
Yep,
Now, James, bring on those babies. Okay, this is baby Logan. Logan?
that is true.
So it's not like it's a big deal, but it's not a big deal until it affects you directly or somebody you.
Right,
And the way that it's often portrayed in media, I didn't even peep this, because I was young when Martin was hot. But Martin has an episode about cults, and I didn't even realize it till last year.
mm,
But when you think about your exposure to cults, it's usually quick, don't drink the Kool-Aid,
right.
Charles Manson, comedy. But it's not a game. And I don't expect
Hey,
people to
Sister
dive as
Money,
deep
what's up,
into it as
baby?
I have. Because
Thank
I mean,
you.
when I tell you I have been studying cults like Bobby Fischer studied chess.
Mm,
Because I need to, so that I can understand what the hell happened.
right. Is that something that you're going to be addressing on your YouTube page?
Man, my YouTube page is gonna be me. You understand what I'm saying? That
Right,
will be a part of it, but it won't be the thing.
right. Okay,
You understand what I'm saying?
right,
But what I attempted to do was I said, let me get off social media, hide out a little bit, and hope people forget that I was even involved, that I was ever involved in this. But I realized that even if I try to stay off social media, I have to carry this for the rest of my life.
right,
I have to carry for the rest of my life. There's certain things we experience that we will take with us all the days of our life. And I had to accept that this is one of them. And when people ask me, yo, what you been up to? Because I've seen, classmates since I've been home, and I just tell them straight up. Like, I've been in a cult for the last 4 years.
mm,
And, everybody processes it differently
right,
depending upon their awareness of cults. But I have to be honest with myself, because living a lie is just not a sustainable form of existence, which it baffles me how Nature Boy and the people that are still there, I'm amazed that they continue to just try to keep up this facade as if we don't know about certain things that don't add up with their quote unquote teachings. What
mm,
part of the teachings is flying contraband to a prison? What part of the teachings is that? What part of the teachings is getting drunk and arrested? Why? What
right,
part of the game is that?
right,
But I realized that when you're in a cult, you can do whatever you want to do. whenever you want to do it and justify it however you want to.
Right.
And I told somebody
Hey, Sad.
today, I said the fascinating thing about nature or carbonation is that it is the most consistent display of real-time delusion.
Mm.
We could have told you that, but okay.
You've met delusional people, you've seen
Right.
delusional things, but you've never seen delusion in such a consistent manner
Right.
in a real-time delivered format.
Right.
It's so delusional that you want to see how far a person can go. I don't think people have ever seen a crazy person in real time.
Yeah, we seen it.
Yeah, we watching it. We're watching it in display. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right about that.
We seen
Never
it.
seen it before.
Us older
Every
folks
day.
said, yeah, we did.
Every day is being displayed.
Even your crazy uncle is crazy some of the time.
Right.
But to watch people be crazy all the time, every day,
Mama,
it's fascinating.
it's not fascinating.
What do you think it'll take for them to just break away? Like,
From what I've seen, not only from the research I've done on my own time and what I've learned in the current psychology course that I'm taking, is that one of the most effective means of breaking cult influence
okay,
is geographical separation.
geographical separation. Okay.
Geographical separation has been displayed as the most effective means of breaking what Steve Hassan calls the bite model. And the bite model is when you're in a group that restricts your behavior, your information, your thought, and your emotions. If you restrict those 4 things in a person, you're effectively training them like a dog.
You know what, Blad?
You can't do this.
You're a bad girl
can't
today.
Listen to this. You can't think this, and you can't display these emotions.
Getting drunk and arrested.
So in order to undo that, a person has to be geographically separated from the cult leader and other cult members.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered.
What you gonna do with Juju?
Dr. Romney calls triangulated, meaning that they are being pitted against each other in some type of a competition to see who can last the longest. But the competition is only worth doing if you have somebody to compete with. So they're actually playing a game on each other. But when they're geographically separated and sat with themselves, then from that angle, they can see how ridiculous the game is.
Hold on. Where Miss Rod at? Miss Leo talking about the points. Miss Rod. I can't, y'all getting me confused now. Drop your link in so they can start getting some points too. And Ms. Rod feel like dropping her links in, drop your links in, and we're gonna talk about that too. So y'all can start getting some points and earning some money. Ms. Rod got the hookup. She got the hookups. And start saving you some money. Because before you know it, it will be holiday season. Before you know it, we'll be at November in a blink. Because y'all know summers go by real fast. Summer go by real fast. Them are the quickest 7 weeks, 8 weeks. They are so quick. But, feel free to drop your link in there, Ms. Rod, and you could tell them, do what y'all normally do. Y'all know what to do. Let's go.
Right.
But until they're separated from each other, they more than likely will continue this until, reality hits. And when I say reality hits, I'm talking about when you realize he's not getting out.
Right.
Somebody gets seriously hurt, or either they get locked up and separated from each other in that manner. At that point, that's the only point I feel like real healing and recovery is going to be able to happen for them. Until then, it's some type of a mission for them that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because right now they're still in the same state. So like you said, they're not geographically separated.
No.
And then it's the competition thing.
Yeah, it's basically as if they're on some type of form of survivor who can outlast the next person. And they've already been conditioned to believe that they're in hell. They've been conditioned to believe that you're not supposed to be happy in life and that, you know, they're being persecuted. So their suffering to them is some type of achievement.
Yeah, a
That
reward
other
system.
people out here who are not seeking suffering are ignoring.
I mean, it's because he got them thinking that it's going to be a reward system. So, you know, you constantly hear no pain, no gain, no pain, no gain. And you're going to go through some things because that's what he put in you guys in their head, right? So they're thinking it's going, if he gets out, it's going to be a reward system. And that's what's keeping them. The promises of moving up a fake ladder. You understand what I'm saying? It's a fake ladder. And they are thinking that they're going to move up this fake ladder, you know, like Malia is going to move up so further than Queen, you know, and then their reward system is maybe when he come out, I won't get abused. You understand? Maybe he's going to treat me right when he comes out. That might be their reward system in their mind. In their mind, that's their reward system. Him saying, hey, y'all down for me. Oh, y'all hold the brother down. You know, I love you guys so much. Even though he's talking to them on the phone, terrible. They still in trouble. They still got to go in the corner. You know, they still got to serve. They still got to do all of these things. They even became the new drone sisters. You understand what I'm saying? They had to fly them drones, do illegal things and stuff. But you got to remember, they're thinking the reward system is if he comes out or whenever he comes out, but one day he may get a sentence or whatever, but one day he will come out. We just don't know when. That they are going to be treated like the queens that they are not. They will be treated like the queens they are not. So that's why, in a sense, they're still staying because of the promises that he's making them. And in their mind, if they get in new people, they will be over them and they'll be the ones to abuse. Remember when Sheba was talking about the feeling that she had with Kendra, the feelings that she had when she was the now abuser, you know, when she was tapping them and everything, when she was tapping them in the face and stuff like that, it felt good to her. So she didn't see anything wrong with it. So that's what's going on. Okay, just wanted to say that.
Right. Because it could be a situation where, because it looks like he's going to take this to trial, which is a huge gamble because the jury comes back and say that he's guilty on everything. He's facing a considerable amount of time behind bars.
25 minimum for
25 minimum, yeah.
For the most serious charge in Georgia.
Right. 25 minimum.
25 years is an extremely long time. Extremely.
Yeah. Then at that point, I mean, it will have to sink into them at that point.
It would.
Ooh, I forgot, Jackie.
This is called corn smut, and not only it's edible, it's extremely delicious. Unfortunately,
because now they're hanging on to, you know, ridiculous things such as the universe is in control.
I thought God was in control.
Things that have no basis with reality. So as long as they're not in reality and they get to stay isolated in their fantasy world, they will continue to act in a way that shows that they're not connected to the reality of what's going on.
Where do you think he learned this from? Do you actually think he was trained to do this? Like there was some type of project going on? Because he just kind of came out of nowhere.
I think that, and I've used this example. Now I'm not a licensed therapist or clinical psychologist or anything like that. I'm just
Right.
offering an opinion like anybody else. But I consider it a form of manipulation that was learned from his experiences dealing with people. For example, right? You take a 25-year-old to an 18-year-old girl, his manipulation tactics would be quite effective because of her own naivety and her lack of experience dealing with men. You
Right.
take that same 25-year-old, he tries his manipulation tactics on a 40-year-old, they're not that effective. So I think that Nature Boy's manipulation tactics were effective because he was dealing with people who may not have been predisposed to those type of manipulation tactics prior. Had Nature Boy tried to do that maybe in the hood or around other people who were seasoned to these type of manipulation tactics, he wouldn't have been as successful. That's just my theory. It could be wrong.
Right.
Well, he's been trying it. He's been trying it because when y'all think of narcissism, people forget when you think of narcissism and when you think of cults, there is a such thing called a single cult or two-man cult, where you are the only cult member when you're dealing with narcissistic people. So he have tried it. That's how he got out of jail with his baby mama. He was always using them tactics. If you sit back and listen, it was already used on people over and over and over. That's how he knew it would work. He didn't practice on y'all. He was already in practice. He was on practice when he left quote unquote Jersey. He was practicing how, think about it. He got that when he was living with them ladies. Nature Boy never had his own. He always lived under somebody. He's never had his own. So he was living with them ladies, and then he ended up in Georgia. He ends up with all he did was lie. That's all he did was lie. He was always a narcissistic person. So we're not going to say what man. It's not like you guys didn't know and he just will let me try it. And these people are so smart. No, he tried it already and it worked. So by the time he got to you guys, he was seasoned. He hinted that there are people behind the scenes during a previous interview. Oh yeah, of course it has to be people behind the scenes. What about the girl? I haven't really been on, so I have to really check that out. I didn't even know he had a cult. I haven't really. I've been a lot busy, so I have to catch up on that too. So, and I got one day maybe to go live. Then the program starts, and I got the kids, but I have to catch up. But if it's a juju cult, there must be a bunch of people in kindergarten, because his mindset is as a toddler. He's like a big freaking kid, and we already know that. So let's go.
When you look at the community that Nature Boy had, 99% of them were under the age of 25.
Right.
Had that been a group of people who were 40, you probably wouldn't have seen it.
Right.
Yeah, you could have.
So I think his success is largely determined by his ability to target people under the age of 25. We all know how we were under the age of 25.
No, we don't.
And age is not relative to experience. There's people who are 18 that are quote unquote street smarts, and there's people who are 35, 40
This is a world's richest man-verified hair growth method, which allows you to regain a full
as a middle school. It all depends upon what you have been exposed to. There's people out here who can recognize somebody that's, you know, a thief or a pickpocket, or they're moving in a certain way that says that this person is suspicious, whereas somebody who's never been around these type of people might not think nothing about it.
That is true.
There's people that fall for Craigslist ads that are clearly scams.
Right.
But because
Right.
they're not, as you like to say, privy to scams, they're sending the money through Cash App.
Right.
So we all possess a level of vulnerability to something. If you're a mechanic, it'll be really hard for somebody to sell you a bad car. If you're not as experienced to recognize those warning signs. And I don't think anybody that was involved with Nature Boy was aware of such manipulation tactics.
This is true.
Right.
That is true.
Him moving them away from everything that they know, that was a part of it.
Of course.
Like you said, isolation.
Exactly. You don't know what it does to your mind to be in Mexico, in Panama, in Nicaragua, and everybody around you looks nothing like you. They don't speak your language. They don't understand what you're saying. Naturally, you're going to cling to the people around you that are more familiar, which makes you more prone to follow their behaviors and their belief systems as a means of survival, because we tend to act like those around us in certain situations. I know that you don't fall for every form of peer pressure, but there is a concept called groupthink, where if you're around people for a certain amount of time, naturally you will start to think and do as they think and as they do.
Right. Yeah, it's something else. Just watching them over the years, that isolation was big. And like you said, the commonality was some of them were under 25.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think, when you was 16, every 20-year-old girl you seen looked like a grown woman
Right.
that had herself together.
Yep.
Until you start getting to that age, you realize, oh, to a 16-year-old girl, every 25-year-old guy looks like he's this amazing man that knows something. But it's only relative. You find out when you turn 25 that dudes that act like what the dudes that you used to like when you were 16, you would never look their way now that you're on their quote unquote level. So to these young girls coming in, Nature Boy probably looked like something.
Right. Yep. He knew exactly what he was doing. But now he's in a position where he has no control. How do you think what do you think he's feeling now? Because he don't have any control. Like you think today things were pushed back again. So he has no control over that.
Well,
okay.
I told you.
Okay.
I don't like to do the competing thing, the who's more man than the other man. I'm a gangster and tough. I feel like all of that is fake. I feel like people who have to blow themselves up are only revealing how small they feel to themselves.
I agree.
What I will say is that when you were outside of the jail, you were going to run the jail. All of the real Negroes are in jail.
Right.
You're the alpha no matter where you go. When the police showed up, there's a video of your eyes wider than a field goal.
Yep.
And he grabbed your baby.
You're talking about being in protective custody. Why would somebody who's an OG, triple OG gangster need protective custody?
Duh.
That is true.
Hey, Annie.
He was exposed at that point.
Welcome.
I don't understand.
We understand.
If you a gangster, it don't turn off.
No, it doesn't.
That's could be. Yes, sir.
No, it doesn't.
And I think that Nature Boy speaks for his own self. People don't pay attention to what you say, they pay attention to what you do. And when you was outside in your comfort zone, in Puerto Rico, in Mexico, when the only opposition you had was people on the phone, you was the toughest, most unafraid person on the planet. Lock me up. Tell the white man to hang me. You were saying this. Now that you're in the position to display that same bravado, it is no longer present. So I'm trying to understand, how can somebody who said, basically, I'm not afraid of the system, now, while in the system, demand some type of compassion and empathy? It doesn't make any sense to me.
That is true. Yeah, it was the lights are on him, and he got exposed. Definitely did. Definitely did. So you you okay, what were you saying?
No, the only thing I was going to say, I was going to say that to the right people, he never fooled anybody. The right people knew
Right.
he was a fraud from the beginning. Because there's certain things you just don't do, and there's certain things you just don't have to say if you are that. You never heard Kobe Bryant say, I'm the best basketball player in the world. He never had to. Never heard Kobe Bryant saying those things, because it spoke for itself.
Right.
So I personally feel like anybody who has to reiterate, not just once or twice, but for years, the same statements and the same claims about who they are only revealing how insecure and how much they don't believe in what they say. If you are what you are, you spend more time being that rather than trying to convince other people or get them to recognize what you are.
Right.
Bill Gates doesn't have to say he's rich.
Right.
You
Right. That's
understand
true.
what I'm saying?
You just know it.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't even have to use symbols of wealth. He doesn't have. He never seen Bill Gates in a Rolls Royce or wearing a chain or anything like that. Because
Right.
when you are what you are, you spend more time being it rather than trying to convince people that you are it.
Yep. That is true. You say you've been studying this case. Like, what do you think the outcome will be? You think this will be it? Like, it doesn't look good as far as a jury.
Well, my thing is, no matter how much research I do, I try to keep my perspective in alignment with the real information that I have. And like, YouTube is a very opinionated platform.
Right.
It should be. First Amendment, freedom of speech. People need to speak. People need to voice their opinion. It makes people, I feel like it makes people whole to be able to express themselves. From what I've seen thus far, today, where we stand, the only thing I know is that the last document that was posted on the ODY, the CAD portal, was that a pretrial was scheduled for today. I don't know if it was canceled. I don't know if it was rescheduled. I don't know what happened with that.
It's a continuance.
Okay, so it means that it'll happen another day.
Right.
On that same document, it said that if this case is not disposed during this pretrial hearing, to be prepared for trial on July 14th or July 24th. I did further research and it said that any case that is not heard on the week of July 14th will automatically be rolled over to the week of July 24th. Now, from what I've gotten directly from DeKalb County, this case could be resolved by August the 1st. And how I feel like it's going to go, if he goes to trial, I personally don't think any unbiased, competent citizen is going to consider this person innocent with the amount of content that they have created themselves.
Right.
It's not as if the information is largely coming from some third party. Now, there are statements and there are witnesses, but there is videos of the defendant making statements that would lead an unbiased, competent citizen to believe that, oh yeah, this is a person who definitely could have done these things.
Yeah.
And people have to understand, the prosecution doesn't have to prove beyond all doubt.
Right.
Reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt.
There will, in every case you have, there will be a possible doubt that the person didn't do it because you wasn't there and you didn't see it. But reasonably, as a reasonable person, when you hear the things that this person has said, the amount of times they have said it, and the way they have said it, it doesn't allude you to believe that this person was acting. It doesn't allude you to believe that this person was just playing and doing some type of quote unquote spiritual improv. You're going to be like, this Negro is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Even the conversations he's had on a recorded jail line. Granted, I would give you a pass if you didn't know you was being recorded. The dang on call every time
It tells you that.
says you are being recorded. The things I have personally heard this person say on the phone has led me to believe and reach the conclusion that his neurological connections are not properly structured. There's something wrong with his ability to properly interpret reality.
Yeah, it's a huge gamble taking it to a jury because you don't know how they're gonna react to this information. Like you said, they could be like, you know what? It's a high probability, you know what, he's guilty. They could say that. And if they say that, then he's facing, like you said, 25. That's a considerable amount of time, and the judge may max him out.
It's
because he's facing 25.
Minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Minimum.
Yep. And Georgia doesn't play.
To New York City, the good and the bad. I'm doing something totally.
They gonna make us watch this video. Nugget.
And the thing about it is that I think the most ridiculous thing about the whole case is the amount of effort they're putting to convincing social media.
Khadija,
people
I don't know.
who will not be at the trial.
Who?
And people who have no bearing on the outcome of the case. The amount of effort they're putting to convince social media that he's innocent makes me think that something's wrong with these people.
Aaron, you know it's a possibility. I don't know if you know this, but the Law and Crime Network, they're one of the biggest trial coverage YouTube channels out there. They put in a document to the court because they want cameras in there. They want to be in there. So there's a possibility we may see this trial on YouTube live.
Now, from my understanding,
hold up. See, this is where I have a problem. This is where I have a problem. You talking about the case like you weren't there. You're talking about the case like you weren't there. You said this leads me to believe, and the amount. Okay, I get the amount of the thing, but you were still there too. Now, if you would say when she went back upstairs, I was in another part of the house. I wasn't in the house at that particular time, but you could still tell us you was there. What the hell happened? Why we have all these members trying to figure out the same way we trying to figure out what the hell happened in the house when she went back upstairs and when she left, what happened? Who videotaped it? See, these are the things that I'm like, stop it. Now you want to talk about how you got into a cult? That's fine. That is your experience. But we're not going to be sitting up there left in a question mark, and you left with a question mark too when you were there. So I'm not getting this. But you left, and half of y'all wasn't even women or men enough to say you're leaving. You are so healed and still learn. I bet you won't testify because your brain. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, Maderi. I gotta agree with that, Miss Leo. But we'll let this play. Hopefully, one of them will finally say, "Hey, this is what happened." If they're still not talking about what happened, even if they wasn't in the house, I could be like, okay, because some of them some of them was probably in the tent that he had in the back. Was the like, but some say something. Hey, Coffee. That's what I'm saying, Coffee. They speaking like they wasn't there. Like, I truly believe in something. I'm like, what? I don't even care if they would have said they was in the bathroom the whole time. If you're telling the story, you should say something. That's all I'm saying. He knows exactly what happened. Is declining to show that's a smart move for the prosecution. Okay. Prosecution. Okay.
Speaking with the lady from the Law and Crime Network directly, unless something has changed, the only reason they're trying to get footage is to have some content for a documentary they plan on doing after the trial is over.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay.
Now that is a possibility. Like I said, that is not stamped certified truth, but my experience with the lady, that's what she told me at the time. That was months ago. It could have changed. But I personally don't think Law and Crime is going to put Nature Boy next to Young Thug and Nelly.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. And I didn't know that they was considering a documentary. That makes sense now. They just gathering intel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just okay. Yeah, it's one of these cases, Aaron, where like it's risky for him to take this to trial. It's risky. I mean, he has every right to, but it's a risky situation. Because like I said, he won't get out until he's 60 something. If he's playing, if he blows trial. So he's 40 something now.
Right.
He's looking at 63, 64, he'll be out.
Right. And I don't know. It's the two options that are available is that he takes a plea or he goes to trial. That's
right.
The only two options. And then when he goes to trial, nobody knows what the outcome is going to be. So I don't even want to waste my time trying to speculate.
Right, I get it.
Mm-hmm. I just would like for this case to be resolved because the outcome of this case directly affects me. Some people might see the outcome of the case and be like, oh, okay, that's crazy. And they go on about their life. But this will affect me on a much deeper level. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm all of that because I really, really would like to know how the state of Georgia and how the people of DeKalb County are going to handle this.
Right.
Because to me, I mean, from my angle, I know he's guilty. Like I don't even. If what are we waiting on? You know, from my perspective, I have to understand that these things have to be treated carefully. This isn't, you know, painting a wall.
Right. I understand that.
You know, they
Right.
have to do this right.
Right.
We've had some difficulties.
Apparently, marriage has challenges.
There was some bloodshed.
She tried to kill me.
I did.
Well, that shakes a man.
How can we trust each other?
Faith.
Annoying answer.
Agreed.
You know, so I'm patient with them. I've learned a lot about the judicial process and the verbiage, the legal terminology, all of it, man. It's exciting.
You know, they say sometimes the scales of justice move slowly, but it's on time.
Yeah.
This case will be on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be on time.
I'm hoping they wrap this thing up before August the 1st. If they can stay in accordance with the scheduled trial weeks on July 17th and the 24th.
Yeah, there was a continuance today, but I'm just waiting for them to update it. So they may, because on their end, like you said, they may be trying to get this thing headed to trial. So, and we're gonna know. I don't think this is gonna last no more than 2 weeks. And
No, I don't.
Get his fate.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have the continuance after 4th of July weekend.
The 4th,
and,
yes.
You know, and they're gonna take a break. 4th of July, you know, government always get federal holidays off. I wouldn't be surprised if they kick this thing back off next week. Like, let's go. Because when I looked at the docket, it was like 30 people on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. And I've never been on jury duty. And I've heard my aunt briefly talk to me about what it's like deciding somebody's fate. But one thing that I do find interesting is when it comes to felonies, a unanimous decision has to be reached, which makes me think that a jury, you know, they're human, you know, they're supposed to follow certain rules and regulations, but I don't see a jury unanimously considering this person to be innocent. I just don't see that. Like I said, but I have to. One of the hardest things I've had to accept was that this could not go the way I wanted to go. And I think back to the people from Surviving R. Kelly. They knew R. Kelly did it, and they watched him walk. I know that has to suck. Like if you wasn't in that house, if you wasn't in those vans, if you wasn't in those third world countries, well, they wasn't third world countries, but if you wasn't in those foreign countries, you can easily be like, well, I guess he didn't do it. But when you was there and you seen certain stuff, to watch R. Kelly get acquitted and know he did it, I know it messed them girls up. I know it messed them up. But lo and behold, after all that time, he finally got in there.
Yeah, they nailed him.
They finally got him. And my thing is, I feel like when you're a person, this is what I said.
Hey, Lady Smoke.
Like, after watching the Surviving R. Kelly documentary and seeing the parallel between him and Nature Boy, I'm like, that's very strange. I feel like R. Kelly kept doing what he was doing even after the tape of him peeing on the girl, and even after him marrying Aaliyah, I feel like the more he got away with it, and this is how I feel about Nature Boy, the more he got away with it, the more he wanted to do it.
Right. Because he got away with it the first time.
The irony, the more a person gets away with something, the more powerful they seem, the more powerful they feel, and the more they actually want to push the barrier to see how much else they can get away with it. Because when you go and you look at Atlanta, I mean, he could have got away with it. That's why I went. Because in Costa Rica, it looked like something. It looked like a mission. It looked like teachings. It looked like the nature. But Atlanta looked like a shit show.
Right.
It looked like a shit show. And I feel like it's a result of getting away with so much that the only thing you can do, it's like somebody that's getting high. First, you start off with weed. Then you got to get a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and a little bit higher. It doesn't work like that with everybody. Some people stop at weed. But usually, when people get high, they have to keep getting higher and higher and higher. And before you know it, they on fucking heroin.
Yep.
So Nature Boy got away with it and got away with it and got away with it. And so let's escalate this shit to the point where I'm outside in the fucking rain with a ski mask on in Decatur, Georgia, doing damn handstands and splits, not in the projects where niggas wouldn't say nothing, but in a damn subdivision.
The subdivision, right?
Let me go. What part of the
My girl
smart
Shantae
game is that?
Right.
That had dumb, and that was just the minor version.
Oh my God. I love the way they're speaking the way we've been speaking. So do your thing. Let me just say hello to anybody. Let me say hello to my peoples. Hey, Shantae Boo. Hey, Booby. Hey, Deanna. What's up, baby love? What's up, D? I like that lady smoke. Ow. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. Or I'm gonna smoke ya. Can't play with my Shantae. Don't try to play it out. Don't try to play it out. Yeah. Oh my God, I miss all of you guys. I miss all of you guys. I know when Wednesday come, right after the holiday, I only could give y'all like an hour or two because I know I'm be so tired. And then after the summer season is over, I give y'all some more time again. Now let's get back. I like what he's saying though. I like what he's saying because he sound like us. He sound like us. So I like hearing the same things we've been saying already coming from them. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
That was just one. But that had dumb written all over it. That had, this has nothing to do with knowledge or self-improvement written all over it.
Yeah, this every year though, Lady D. Lady D, every year around this time, I'm missing in action, baby. So I do got a lot of catching up to do. Got a lot of catching up to do, baby. And don't worry, I found my phone. I just got to get a new charger.
Ball, I've seen it in high school, I've seen it in the military, and I've seen it in a damn cult. When you give the wrong person power,
just about,
they will abuse it by default.
Just about.
That's true. And that's what happened here. Because I remember when he first started, like, I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff he's saying. I'm like, you know, if they all going to go to nature and they all going to help each other out, I could see that.
We ain't never say that.
But then the extra stuff,
we
like
ain't
you
never
were just
say
talking
that.
about,
We ain't never say that.
That right there is what that was his downfall. Like you said, the wrong person got the power, and it's always detrimental to everybody, including himself. At the end of the day.
And I want to add this. And what I like to do now that I've brought myself back down to earth outside of all that God bullshit, now that I've brought myself back down to humanity, like everybody else, I realize, let me see how I want to say this. So I realize that the best way to connect with people is to be relative, right? In this sense, right? So people might be saying, if you recognize that this was so ridiculous, why didn't you just leave? The same way you recognize you didn't like your job but kept going.
Right.
The same way you recognize that you was in a toxic relationship but kept calling and kept trying to make it up. It's not as simple as recognizing that something's wrong and then immediately acting. There was a lot of factors I had to consider before I was able
It was a process.
to walk away. It wasn't exactly. It wasn't a this is this. Let me leave.
Right.
I had to think about so many different things until I got to the point where I was able to read that. Mind you, my critical thinking ability became eroded because it wasn't necessary.
Right.
If you didn't think like this dude think, you was automatically in the wrong. And when you recognize that you was going to be in a 3-4 hour meeting until you accepted that you was wrong, you began to pick, do I want to argue with
Exactly.
or do I want to eat and go to sleep? And over time, you tend to pick, I want to eat and go to sleep, but you don't realize that this is eroding your ability to think logically. And you become practice in the decision to just go with the flow. And if you just go with the flow for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you don't even notice. Damn. It's like cigarettes. You don't really remember the process of how you went from your first puff to 2 packs a day.
Right.
You don't remember how you went from 1 sip of alcohol to damn drinking every weekend. These things are subtle and they're gradual. We didn't start out acting retarded. It escalated in a gradual way to the point where when you finally recognized what was going on, it was almost unbelievable. Because
Miss Leo,
when you invest 2, 3, 4 years into something, only to realize that you went the wrong way, sometimes you don't want to turn around. You will lie to yourself and tell yourself, no, this is what it is. This is what it is. You actually start clinging on to the delusion because accepting the alternative reality that you've been wasting your time and that none of this makes any sense. And this has nothing to do with self-growth and improvement, but rather this is actually you sustaining somebody else's sick fantasy. That's hard.
That is true.
To swallow. And you have to, and mind you, you haven't seen your family in 4 years. You haven't seen your friends in 4 years. How do you just step away and tell somebody, hey man, I'm back and I was in a coach?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a process. Like you understood it and it was just a gradual thing. And then you separated yourself. And when you separated yourself and it had your quiet time, then you started to process it.
Yeah, and I tell you that him going to jail was the most significant thing to ever happen for a member of Carbonation, Melanation, whatever you want to call it. That allowed enough geographical separation for people to think for themselves, except for the people that are still there. Ironically, the people who were abused the most are defending the hardest. When I tell you this is one of the most fascinating psychological evaluations I've ever seen, it's much better than a television show because it's real. And I was present for it. Do you know how mind-boggling it is for me to watch people who were abused the most defend their abuser the strongest?
Yeah, it's something
I
else.
mean, Stockholm Syndrome, to read about Stockholm Syndrome is one thing. to watch it in real time.
Yep.
Bro, I'm fascinated with psychology. I'm fascinated with the human mind and how it can be altered.
And we're still figuring out the human mind. We still haven't quite figured it out.
Exactly. Bro, it's crazy to watch. It's crazy to watch it, man.
Like you said, if he gets sentenced and it's over, then at that point see what they do.
They're gonna have no choice. And here's another thing that's happening. We know that at 18, you ain't grown. You're not grown.
Right.
These women's brains on a functional and structural level are developing to a greater capacity than it was when they originally got there. So although they may not be aware of it, their thinking and awareness is changing as they age.
When you called me, were you with her? Tyler Perry's Sisters is back with an all-new season.
Right.
So now I have to admit, I was very disappointed that they haven't left yet, because I was certain that they would have left by now. But I can't hinge myself on expectations. I personally believe at this point, from the behaviors they displayed, that it's going to require him getting sentenced to a significant amount of time for them to leave, or some type of manner in which all of them are separated, not two over here and two over there, but for all four of them to be put in a position where they have to think by themselves on their own. I think that is the only thing. Otherwise, they're going to continue this rhetoric of defending him and making him out to be some type of Huey P. Newton or Martin Luther King, who's an object of persecution, as if we can't see the recordings. Now, I would respect it more if none of this was recorded and you don't want to go to jail. Okay, my boy, lie. Get your ladies to defend you. Lie. You about to face 25 years. I wouldn't blame you for lying.
Mm-hmm.
But you trying to lie as if the alternative narrative ain't online. I would actually be more inclined to believe that you're being persecuted if I don't see evidence of the contrary on your own damn page.
Yeah, this is a very unique case here.
It's on your page, my boy. I consider them to be terrible magicians. When a magician is on his game and he's doing card tricks, pulling birds out of the damn sky, it's amazing. Wow, how does he do it? But once you figure out how he's doing it, the trick ain't that amazing no more. So they're acting as if nobody has seen the true element and behavior of somebody that they're trying to present as this innocent man. We've seen this Negro cuss y'all out. We've seen this Negro abuse you. Y'all acting like we don't know.
Right.
And who's to blame? I can see if you had somebody that came in, recorded you, was a DEA agent, and set you up. But my boy recorded his own damn criminal acts. How can you have sympathy for somebody that incriminated themselves?
He knows he's in harm's way too. He mentioned something. He said, if I'm convicted, this is what they're doing to me. He knows in the back of his mind, he know that this might not end well for him. He's aware.
The thing about it is, you've already made a statement in which you said, with your arm behind your head, chilling, with your toes curled, you said that anybody that's in jail deserved to be there.
It's their karma.
Even if they didn't do anything in this life, it's a byproduct of some karma that they did in another life.
He said that. Yes, he did.
Now, in the same breath, you exempt yourself from the very statements
Mm-hmm.
you put out on a routine basis. It's just, but I understand, because just like on Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey, the FLDS, the woman, even after Warren Jeffs, who's the cult leader of the FLDS, even after
Hey,
he
Sha.
was sentenced to life,
And put in isolation. They still were.
they still followed him.
Yep.
And a clinical psychologist was brought in to explain, and she said that it is her brain's way of protecting her, because believing in Warren Jeffs as a messiah or a prophet is bearable, but her brain literally can't bear the truth that he's not a messiah, but actually a child abuser. So those women who continue to support Nature Boy are running from swallowing the pill and the alternative truth that you were exploited and abused online. Now, which one you gonna choose? That or he's the Messiah? He's the Messiah has to work, because the alternative is I've been exploited and abused online for the last 4 years. So they're going to do everything they can to make this be a spiritual journey with Black Jesus.
What we told
Because
you
the
said that too.
alternative, the alternative literally can drive somebody to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Join Happy Optimum customers and get 1 gig fiber internet now for as low as $55 a month and save.
Oh, we ain't paying that much money.
I like how you breaking this down, because like I didn't even think of it that way. And now that you breaking it down like this, it all makes sense. Like,
you should come to our channel
it's like you
sometime,
said,
Max.
it's been over 4 years, and it's been online for everybody, for strangers on display. And I just want to say to them, like, if they decide to leave today, I'm not judging them. Like, if they decide to leave, obviously they're gonna have to get help and have some deep thinking. I wouldn't put them down and say, "Look what you've been through for the past 4 years." I personally wouldn't.
Well, yeah,
But like you said, their mind is working against them.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Max. It really ain't got nothing to do with none of us or what somebody says in the chat.
Right.
Because guess what? They could get all the support and love in the world. They could go online and everybody say, "I'm so proud of y'all. I'm glad y'all left. Y'all so strong. Y'all didn't deserve that abuse. Glad y'all got away," whatever. But if they can't forgive themselves, it won't matter what nobody says, positive or negative.
That's true.
So they, and the thing about it is, they're hanging on to each other in a sad attempt to not have to process that alone.
See, this is the point. He's absolutely correct. He's 100% correct. But the problem is they're still committing crimes. The jail don't care nothing about what you've been through. You will be dealt with for your crimes, because you may not want to accept a lot of things, but you're still hurting people. There's jails for that. Maybe, and that's why you got the psychiatric jail for the mental people. So they're going to end up in one of them jails. That don't take away for the crimes you have committed. You commit these crimes, you're still committing crimes. Y'all still badgering the witness. Y'all still putting them names out. That's why you got a gag order now. So when they received that gag order, it wasn't like, well, you received this gag order, so but we're not going to give it to you because your mind won't accept that he's not king, or your mind won't accept that he's not God. GAWD. He's not God. You understand what I'm saying? So he's like I say, he's 100% right. But people do need to tell him it's a place for people like them if they keep committing these crimes. It's a place for them. But they're going to have plenty of time to think about it. They're going to have plenty of time to think about it. Every time they do something, they're still being held accountable. Even they're going to be held accountable for that damn phone call with them drones also. So they could be in delusion world all they want. Like I said, that is 100% true. Sometimes you do keep up a certain thing, a certain barrier in front of you, so you do not get hit with reality, because reality hurts. Reality is a mofo. So they'd rather stay in la la land, which you can stay, and that is 100. Psychology wise, he is 120% correct. But they also have to you also have to realize they are committing crimes. They may get less time, but somebody need to tell them, you need to get it together. Or you can still worship him. Go right ahead. Go through life worshiping him, waiting for him, but don't commit crimes. Don't commit any more crimes, or you will be in jail. Now let's go.
Because Jayon has to process a miscarriage that could potentially have been the result of something that happened in the cult. That doesn't go away. So you better put all your energy into this dude being the Messiah, because guess what's on the other end of that not being true? You lost your child. Wow. Tanisha ran down the street butt booted naked. Now you can go outside and forget you got your glasses on your head.
Right.
You can go outside and forget you left your keys on the counter. But ain't not near nowhere has anybody ever went somewhere and forgot they was naked. So it had to be some form of emergency for her to prefer to run outside butt naked than to be around that person. She has to process that. You missed 4 or 5 years of your child's life.
This is my comeback. Start yours at purdueglobal.edu.
Jesus, but in fact, it was not Jesus. It was some dude you met online. Same thing with Porsche. That is what's on the other side of this dude being the Messiah. If he's not the Messiah, guess what's waiting for you? Those things.
Yeah.
Everybody that was in a cult, not even just in a cult, everybody that's in a traumatic situation, everybody that was in an illusion that came to the truth, that's what they have to deal with. Just like a woman, you could be with a dude for 5 years. He's your knight in shining armor. He's the love of your life until you look in his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other side of him being the love of your life is he's cheating on you. So some people run that much harder to, oh, no, he's not cheating on me. Because the alternative of that is just too embarrassing. It's too hurtful. You put a down payment on the house. You co-signed on the car. Y'all got 2 kids. Look at how intermingled you've made yourself. And you mean to tell me after all of that, you just got to pull away, throw away, and start over? What?
Right.
I can see if I was in the cult for 2 weeks. Okay, I made a mistake. I'm back, y'all. Woo, that was close. But to have dug yourself and identified yourself and plastered your face all over Carbonation.
And your body all over
thinking
the
it was
network.
a tribe, only to find out it was some dude's twisted game to play with people. Oh, some people can't digest that.
Right.
Boy, you left your family to go do what? Yeah. You left your son to go do what? You online getting sexually exploited. For what? You done lost 2 babies. For what? That ain't Jesus. Oh, you thought that was Jesus. Nope. Guess who it is? Some dude you met online that you don't really know.
Right.
It better be Jesus. Damn, Dad, I can't accept the alternative. Some
know.
people might be like, oh, damn, Dad, I can't accept that alternative. This nigga better be Jesus, and I'm going to make him Jesus. Watch what I do with these videos. Watch how I clip up these videos and find this evidence. This nigga better be Jesus, because if he ain't, I just got exploited for 4 years on the internet. It'd be different if you got exploited offline and nobody seen it. Shit, you can kind of deal with that. But oh no, you mean to tell me I got exploited and abused and humiliated and embarrassed by some dude I met on the internet? Oh hell no, this nigga better be Jesus.
What type of advice would you give them though, if they contemplating leaving right now? Like, what type of advice would you give them to where should they start? Because you have experience now. Now that you pulled away from it, you do have experience where you can help people. Like, what would you think the first thing they should do? Like,
well, it's not even like a program. What worked for me could actually be detrimental for somebody else. So even though I have made progress, I made progress in alignment with who Aaron is, what's best for Aaron. Some people might need to go directly to their family. Some people might not need to talk to their family for a couple of months and get themselves ready to talk to their family. So the best thing I can say for them is something that I consider to be a common denominator across all people in toxic relationships, narcissistic relationships, abusive relationships, whatever you want to call it, is to separate yourself from everything that's promoting the damn relationship. Separate yourself from your abuser and separate yourself from anybody who refuses to accept that we're being abused.
Right.
Points all the way back to that geographical isolation. You can't talk to them. You can't be around them. You can't text them. You can't call them. Take off that damn head wrap and everything that connects you to that toxic relationship. You have to disconnect yourself from it. And from there, you listen to yourself, because you need to reestablish that internal compass that has been destroyed by somebody who's repeatedly told you that you don't have your own mind. Your mind isn't good enough. You should use my own mind. All of this is control tactics, man.
Right.
Once you insert self-doubt, you can convince somebody of damn near anything. We've seen it. Charles Manson didn't kill nobody, but he convinced people to kill on his behalf. So they need to, once they remove that, it's like you can't heal a burn with your hand on the source of the flame. You have to remove yourself. So once they do that, they need to gradually reestablish their own ability to think and reason, because a cult leader's success is built on your ability not to think. So they have to listen to themselves and say, you know what? I'm going to take a week just to sit with myself. I'm going to go eat when I want to eat. I'm going to walk when I want to walk. I'm going to watch what I want to watch. I'm going to do what I want to do, because for the last 4 years, I've been taking instructions for somebody who can't even lead their own damn self, let alone be able to supervise the affairs of other people.
Right.
That's what I would recommend. I would recommend they first disconnect from anything and everyone that keeps them attached to the toxic relationship. And then from that 0 point, rebuild your ability to make your own decisions, because you're not retarded. You're not inferior. You're not less than. You can make your decisions because it is your life.
That's right. I agree. The first thing to separate and cut off all communication, and then that's when the process of
Hey, it
deprogramming
is what
starts.
it is, coffee. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yep. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that is the first step. Like, because
I agree with that, but I think he's still in the stage that he's in now. He's still in the stage that he is in, that he just was talking about, that what they don't want to face. I believe he's still in that stage, because what's going to keep all of them, what's going to keep them all in the cult is the roles that they played. So they will forever, as long as they have these secrets that they would never tell anybody, they will still be in the cult. Even though they out the cult, but y'all will still be in the cult because y'all still have secrets, right? So even if you figure, okay, I'm out, you may be free from Nature Boy, but you're not free from yourself, because at the end of the day, you still got to eat the fact that I did this, right? And if everybody's telling on everybody, but not telling on everybody, it's different when you tell on yourself. It's different when you tell on yourself. And that's how you will get released. Could be. Saint. When you start telling on yourself, that's when you will be released. And again, even though they all of their, like he said, their minds is where it's at, which is 110% correct. I cannot deny them are facts. But the other part is you gonna have to come to terms on what you did. And the only thing that's not going to make you come to terms with that is jail. I might be in jail. That's how you know a lot of more things happen that we don't know about. It's a lot of more things that happen that we don't know about, because there is nobody saying, hey, I did this, I did this, I did that. They're saying the things that they saw, but they are not going to say, this is what I did. I mean, so if it wasn't a lot of criminal activity going on, you could easily say, oh man, at least Kendra did admit to, papping a couple of them in the face and stuff like that. But as long as they have secrets that only they know about, they will forever be in the cult. That's why whenever they see each other or whatever, you know how they'll meet up every couple of years and it's only them so they can talk about their secret. They will forever be connected forever. So that's the part hopefully Aaron reads in that book. Now, do we know or don't know if he expressed anything to Tabitha? We don't know. So I'm not going to jump the gun or jump the broom and say that he hasn't spoken to Tabitha. We don't know. So maybe what he said, he could only say, and then unlike the rest of them, he's keeping his mouth shut. So we don't know. We don't know. But when he was speaking upon JC, he said that potentially. So he didn't say this is what took her child. He said what may potentially. So he was covering himself a little bit. But again, we don't know. We don't know. But the secrets is what's going to bind y'all together forever. Just want you to know. Them secrets, you can't get away from it. You can't.
One of the things that I despise about cult leaders is their ability to act like they have the answer for everything.
Right.
I don't have the answer for everything. I've only developed answers that work for me. And I would have to be actually ignorant to think that the steps that work for me apply to everybody in the world. That's why Nature Boy's philosophy is flawed, because he thinks that everybody in the world should listen to him and do what he does. Dude, there's certain people that if they eat shrimp, they'll die.
Right.
But you're up here talking about everybody should eat from the sea. Niggas are allergic to that.
Right.
There's people that are allergic to that. Here you are recommending your philosophy and trying to promote it to the world. What that says is I am somebody who either cannot or refuses to recognize the intricacies that make all of us different in our own special way. And rather than honoring that, no, everybody should think the same. All women, this, what I call this umbrella mentality. All white people, all black people, all women should do this. All men should do this. What I consider that to be is actually lazy leadership. I don't want to actually work with each person, work on one-on-one. I want to push all women underneath the same umbrella rather than recognize their own unique needs. All black women aren't the same. All white people aren't the same, Negro.
Right.
But it's easier for you to control people when you put everybody underneath these superficial categories where all the men are identifying underneath the same concept. All the women are identifying underneath the same philosophy. That's dictatorship. That's authoritarianism.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's people definitely, Aaron, they want to continue to hear from you. I'm just looking at the chat. People are glad to hear from you. And he has a YouTube page now, so you guys will, at his time, you'll be hearing from him. And what other things you gonna be talking about, Aaron?
Man, like I said, like I don't really have a theme.
Oh, you don't have a say, yeah.
I don't have a theme. It's not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this, I'm gonna talk about that. But during this process of stepping away and observing, because I've been observing, but I just didn't want to get involved yet. But during this process of observation, I realized it's very important to express your opinions as a person. Whether you turn out to be right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But maintaining your voice is actually congruent with you maintaining your own self-esteem and self-confidence. And I know how susceptible we are as humans to control and manipulation when we relinquish those things. So I encourage everybody, whatever manner you choose, speaking, writing, whatever, I encourage you to express your individual self, because once you give that up, you are open to people who recognize those weaknesses and try to exploit them. So I'm just getting back on here. I came on here. I didn't know I was going to be speaking this much or talking this much, but I wanted to reintroduce myself on a platform that I respected. Like I've been in your chat over the last months, and I like your consistency. I like the way you handle yourself. I'm not really a associate of drama and ignorance. I feel like I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to intellectually debate you and show people how intelligent I am over you. I don't care nothing about that. I'm able to voice my opinion, listen to your opinion, recognize and respect your opinion, and keep going. So this was just the opportunity for me to reintroduce myself back into the social media platform and also respect my personal manner of expression, which is speaking. I love speaking. I can't deny it. I can write.
It's a gift. You got to
But
continue it.
yeah, it's and it's just something I love to do, man. I love talking, man, and a lot of the people that I respect and consider to be mentors. One of the things that caused me to gravitate towards them was their ability to speak. I have a lot of respect for Dr. Umar. Have a lot of respect for Malcolm X. Have a lot of respect for Eric Thomas. And it's not even so much about vocabulary or anything. It's just about this is what I know about people. When somebody's passionate about something, you can tell. It's not something you can fake. So
Right.
I consider people who are in their craft, passionate about what they're doing. I feel like they have reached the point in life that we all search for, and I admire it.
I'm definitely glad you came on because you're gonna be a good vlogger. You are a good talker, and then people are gonna want to hear from you, especially your perspective, not just when it comes to this, but anything.
Yeah.
And you never know, they could be listening, and you could have said something today that could have helped them.
And Max, I'm so glad you said that. One, I feel like myself and everybody in this chat is valuable when we see the value in other people.
Right.
And because when you're coming from a place of insecurity, it looks weak. People call it, you doing too much. You're doing too much. Like you're doing too much. But when you're coming from a space of I have personal value, which means that you have personal value, you're more open to people. And which means, and when you're more open to what people are saying, you're more open to be able to be of assistance to people. And secondly, I'm so glad you said that because there's certain videos I have watched. When I tell you from people from Melanation, they have said things that haven't been brought up in years that have helped me. And I'm like, wow, I know you're not lying because this dude has displayed those characteristics while I was there.
Yep.
So this is not something that's new. This is just information that I had refused to examine because I wanted this to be what I wanted it to be so bad that I was not even open to receive any contradictory information until now. There's certain videos that the T has made that I didn't watch because in my mind, the T was some type of demon. And so I couldn't watch her. I couldn't listen to her. There's certain things that Sybil, I don't know if you remember Sybil, she was there for a short time. She said certain things when she left that I didn't watch. A lot of people who left and finally spoke up about the things that they have witnessed have been of assistance to me, and they may not never know it. And I learned that from documentaries I've watched about former cult members. These people don't even know I exist. But what they said on those interviews facilitated my own recovery process. And so that is another motivating factor for me getting back online and just saying certain things that I feel like need to be said because I might be helping somebody and they might never reach out to me. They might never make themselves known, but it don't matter.
Right.
I know the power of helping somebody simply by expressing yourself.
Just one thing you say, it could be just one thing that you might not have realized you said that could help them. Just one thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'll tell you, and that's why I'm not on that spiritual guru. I'm a leader. I'm a coach. I'm not on none of that. What I feel like the best thing you can do as a person is to help somebody else recognize their own greatness rather than trying to put yours on display. And that's one thing I just do not like about cult leaders or people who are narcissists or toxic leaders is their insatiable need for attention and recognition and displays of grandiosity. I'm like, dude, we get it. Okay, sit the fuck down. We get it.
Yep.
But I know that even though somebody may be 35, 40, 6'8", It doesn't matter. There are people who appear to be adults who carry the mind of a child. And when you want to determine how developed somebody is and how mature they are, don't stop at their physical features. Look at their behavior. Behavior is the number one indication of who somebody is, regardless of the manner in which they dress, regardless of the manner of car they drive, regardless of the houses they have. Behavior is the number one indication for somebody's level of maturity and psychological development.
Right. Aaron, you have a few more books in you. Are you planning to write any? Are you planning to write more? I'm assuming.
I don't think so, because
Okay.
I really don't enjoy the writing process as much as I enjoy the speaking process. That's why the book is so short. It's short. I didn't want to spend all day doing it. I took the thoughts that was in my mind at that time, wrote them down, and put them out. My number one thing that I love to do, and I always have, is speaking. I love it. I think it's very refreshing just for myself to listen to somebody say things that are meaningful and of substance, especially in a world where it seems like people don't have much to say as much as they just seem to have to say something. So I value speaking in a way that maybe others don't. And so I want to create an avenue where I'm able to exercise it. It's like if you're somebody that like boxing,
Right.
you need a space where you can exercise your jab and your hook, your cross, whatever you may be working on. So me, I need a space where I can exercise my ability to speak. And that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. And whatever happens from that, it happens. Like, I don't have an agenda. Like, I want to be a Nobel Prize winner. I don't have none of that. Today, there were some people at Walmart who needed help getting some water in their cart, and I helped them. And that wasn't on the internet. It'll never be on the internet. I'll never get views for it. But just helping people,
Right.
I realize how rewarding that is. And so
It is.
that's my mission in life, is to help people in whatever way I can without needing it to be recorded. And without people needing to pat me on the back for it. I don't care. I just want to help people the best way I can.
Content creating is your thing. Definitely. With the YouTube, you're gonna just now that you're gonna be vlogging, I'm gonna be tuned in.
Well, it's not gonna be vlogging, because I'm not a hold the camera up, look at what I'm doing type guy. It'll be more
Audio.
Yeah, because I feel like visuals are more of a distraction than anything. And I feel like audio forces you to focus on what I'm saying, because ain't nothing else there. You can't see what I look like. You can't see what I'm wearing. You can't see what car I'm in. You can't see my background. So, and it also affords you flexibility to be able to listen in your car, listen as you're walking around, as whatever you're doing.
That's right.
Versus video, it kind of forces you to sit there. But what I look like don't matter. It don't matter. And I offer you something in the words that I'm saying. That's it. And I also would like to establish more platforms like yourself, highly respectable.
Oh man, you welcome anytime.
You know what I mean? I ain't gonna overstay my welcome like my grandma told me. I'm not gonna overstay my welcome. I'm not gonna be on here every day. I'm gonna let you do. You understand what I'm saying? But I have to establish more relationships with platforms that are highly respectable, highly mature, because it's like
I'm an excellent source of magnesium.
To help support immunity.
Eat almonds, live well, repeat.
When you 18, 19, 20, the club is cool. But when you turn 35, you kind of want to go to the lounge. You know what I'm saying? I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but there's certain conversations I can't have no more. I can't scream at a phone.
Oh goodness, I was on mute. Hey, Unique.
That's understandable. Are you open to any questions in the chat or?
Oh yeah. Because what's the day? Thursday? Yeah, we good. We good to go.
Let's see what we have. Anybody have any questions for Aaron? Oh, Aaron, what's the name of your YouTube page again?
I think it's just Aaron Dixon. I made it today, so.
Okay, cool.
I think it's just Aaron Dixon. Yeah, it is, because Mr. Aaron Dixon is the little handle thing.
Let me get that pulled up here. Let me see. I should be able to find that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it pulls up in the search bar because the subscriber count is so low.
Can you link that in the back chat for me? So I can what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin it for people to subscribe to you.
Yeah.
And I do like the believe it or not, I had started a sports channel and it took off, and I'm doing mainly like audio, like how you gonna be doing. And YouTube is they're promoting podcasting like format when it's just really audio, and it's really does well. And so I'm getting a little bit more experience on that end, doing audio and stuff, put my thoughts together. So yeah.
And I feel like audio.
Oh, Midwife, you can get the link. Yeah, if you can put the link in Midwife, that'll be cool. She found you.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to ask you where do I post it at, but if she got it, it's good to go.
Yeah.
I feel like also the amount of effort it takes to, some of these YouTube content creators are amazing. The amount of effort they put to editing a video.
Yeah.
I choose not to do that. And so
me neither.
Audio, the amount of editing I would have to do is very minimal.
Exactly.
Very minimal. So that's why I'm leaning towards audio. And even myself, I found myself not watching that many YouTube videos, but on Spotify, man, I was listening to a lot of podcasts. So I just need the value of what you're saying. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, that's what I noticed on the page, the sports page I'm doing. They just want to hear the audio, and like you said, the editing and stuff like that. And you know, it's for me, it takes my mind away. I love doing this as a hobby, like the podcasting. It's like my hobby. It's like it takes my mind away. It's like I'm focused on something else. And oh yeah, she found it. Okay, here we go.
Is that really it? Because I did not type that. When I go to the customization part, it's like a bunch of letters and numbers.
Let me see.
Let me see if that even works.
Let me just see if that is it. She said she found you. Let me.
Hey, Paula.
Yeah, that actually does work.
Baby.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yep.
Okay, so I guess the YouTube, I guess what do they call that? A handle? I guess I guess when you can put somebody's handle in after the /.
Yep, that's your if you just put in at Mr. Aaron Dixon, it'll come up.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Let me just let me see. Let me pin that there. Thank you, Midwife, because that did come up. Let's see what questions we have. What do you think about Loyal's death? Was Loyal a terrible person, like Pisces said?
Oh, good.
Do you want to get into that?
Now that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean,
please tell me he answers it.
It's funny because I
Look at that.
Actually spoke on this earlier. Well, I wrote it in somebody's chat. I didn't
link you in. Okay.
But Loyal is a fictional character, just like True and just like Malia and Aya and all these people. They're fictional characters. that only exists in a fantasy world that doesn't exist. Amar Jawade, I never met the guy because you're not allowed to be in a cult and be yourself at the same time.
Mm.
So the irony behind Armand, aka Pice, speaking on
You did it?
Loyal
You push the refrigerator back.
is that it is only an indication to me that he hasn't even fully processed who he is yet. Loyal doesn't exist. That's a fake character that Amar Jawade was attempting to embody while in an abusive environment.
That's right.
Nobody knows Amar Jawade other than his sisters, his mother, and his actual friends.
That's right. Because when we think of him, we think of Loyal is the name that was given to him, but there's a whole nother there was a whole nother person, like you said, a Marge away that we've never even known.
Yeah, because there was no individuality. There's no individuality in the cult. It's either you think like everybody else, eat like everybody else, and then you've seen how it started becoming dressed like everybody else.
So was
Loyal
Loyal a horrible person?
Individuality or who you were before you came.
No. The question was, is Loyal? Was Loyal a bad person? We're not speaking upon Amir, Ajwa, whatever he called him, Ajwa. We're not speaking on him. We're speaking on Loyal. And was Loyal, even though he was a fictional character, was Loyal while he was there? Because they're speaking of Loyal, saying Loyal was a terrible person. So they're asking the part that Loyal played, was he terrible? That's what we want to know. You know what, Miss Leo? Exactly. That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. But he was calling himself Eligio too, so you can't say that because he was Eligio also. Now, if he would have totally not said his name was Eligio, then you know. But hopefully they know that they are connected to their fictional characters. The fictional characters go to jail, and the real person goes with them.
Into the cult, it had to be suppressed. So for me to tell you, oh, Loyal was this, that would only show you how insane I am to speak on somebody's attempt to be a cult member. What do I look like telling y'all about somebody's attempt to be a cult leader?
Hey,
that's like you seeing your son. You know your son. You had your son.
Hey,
you raised your son.
Right.
You wiped his nose. You taught him how to use the bathroom. You was at his. You the one that bought the balloons for the birthday party, and he over here pretending to be a blood. Now you got his homeboy telling you about Sue Jones, and you like, who the hell is Sue Jones?
Right.
This nigga name is Daquavion Jamal Green. I don't know no damn Sue Jones. And so that's how you have to treat the cult members.
Right. Man, I like how you put that because you never really got a chance to know who Amar Jawade was.
I don't know who the hell that is. So when I seen the obituary, I'm like, wow.
Wow.
His family must be deeply saddened by this.
Man.
It's not like he had it. Now, it's different when you're 65 and you're 70 and 80. It's like, okay, you know, you was here.
Right.
But for this man to have spent a large number of his developing years, which is supposed to be full of self-exploration, listening to some dude who had.
Dag it. I don't know who Shantae. Could y'all please stop bringing up the Shantae Rich up in here, cause we got Lady Smoke up in here. Woo, 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 woo. So, but when you see Shantae, Lady Smoke, tell her I said hey. Tell her I said hey. Hey, Zaire, baby. I get what he's saying though, but all right.
Has no idea how to even orchestrate his own life. It's a tragedy.
Lynn said, "How is Kendra and your son? Are y'all still together? How's she doing?"
Yeah, everybody's good. We're still together. That's a good question. That's a good question because it's like you don't want to assume anything because I mean, with so many people in the cult displaying unstable relationships, I don't blame you for thinking that the same could be happening with me. But no, me and Kendra are doing fine. Y'all's great.
That's good.
Finally having an opportunity to be parents without these weird external influences.
Right.
But it's a learning process. And my thing is I'm really glad that we left when we did.
Right. Everything happened
She
when it was
laid up,
supposed to
Zaire. She
happen.
laid up.
That was the time that you were supposed to leave. That was it.
Yeah, I'm really glad. And they really make everything like kind of worth it because it's kind of hard to say being in a cult was worth it. But when I look at the outcome, I think about it. We talk about it all the time. Like I would have never met Kendra. Ever. I would have never met her. She's from Washington. I'm from Georgia. I never would have went to Washington.
Right.
And I was on some, I'm never getting married. I'm never having kids. That's what I was on.
Right.
But clearly life had other plans for me and I think that it makes our relationship that much stronger because of the dynamics in which we met in our story in general. Like this ain't no boyfriend, girlfriend, high school stuff. We met under some very unique circumstances. And ironically, those circumstances has really driven us closer than anything. And so if you want to call it God, the universe, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
If that's what I had to do to get Kendra and my son, I would do it again.
That is what's up.
I would do it again. I'd do all the crazy ass driving in Nicaragua, staying up late and all that.
You have been all over. You've been to
you.
Nicaragua. So you've been to Nicaragua, obviously Mexico, Nicaragua.
It was. I just go in order so I don't lose track. It was Mexico. It was Belize actually. That's
Belize. Okay.
Flew into Belize, drove to Mexico. Went through.
Wait, so you were in Belize right when he was leaving?
The same day.
Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, Belize. Right. Okay.
The same day.
God, Aaron, it was 4 years, right? When you was with them, it was like 4 years, right?
Yes, I'll never forget.
Belize. Okay.
I can't remember the day I got there.
Okay.
But I'll never forget the day I left, September 27, 2022. Never forget it. But I got there either the end of May or the beginning of June 2018.
But it was right when he was leaving Belize.
I mean, the same day.
Yep. Okay.
The same day.
And so Belize, then you said,
it was Belize, then Mexico, then, of course, in between Nicaragua and Mexico, you have El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica. I mean, no, Costa Rica is after. Wait, is that after Nicaragua? I don't know. But I've been through all of them. Wow. And then, we landed in Panama for a little bit.
Right.
Then Panama was to Texas and then back to South Carolina, stayed in Atlanta, Mama Cookie's house, went to Hawaii, got kicked out of Hawaii, went to California for a couple of weeks, went to Vegas for a couple of months, went
Right.
back to Mexico. Then from Mexico, part two, that's when Puerto Rico happened. And then after Puerto Rico, you know, it was Atlanta.
Then it was yeah,
Atlanta part two.
yeah. I mean, you did Atlanta.
Yep. So
You were in Jersey for a hot minute.
that was Philly.
I don't know if you remember the story. Remember when you guys were playing basketball in the park?
That was Jersey.
That was Jersey. Guess
Jersey.
what? My mother lived right there.
I remember you told me.
Yeah,
that.
my mother saw y'all.
Yeah,
because y'all had the van.
Yeah. What we were driving? I can't remember what we were driving. Was that?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
You guys were in Orange Park.
Yeah,
That's in Orange,
that's
New
when
Jersey.
they did that.
Yep.
And
That's when they did
no
that.
business being in no dang Jersey.
They was in Jersey when they was shooting that brother thing. Now I remember that brother all was in that house. So they left Sonetta and then they went to Jersey to stay there in that house, and he got his son and everything. So we remember. Don't worry about it. We remember. We remember where y'all been. Let's go. That's a shame we remember. That's terrible. We've been following all this time. We remember. Damn. Sheesh.
I don't know nothing about that type of life. All them folks staying on top of each other and close like that, man. I ain't used to that, man.
And I know you guys were traveling. You went to New York for a little bit and came back. And then you said Philly, right?
We hit Philly.
Yeah.
After this, we hit Philly shortly after Puerto Rico.
Okay. Philly short after Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Okay.
because in between Puerto Rico and Philly was Atlanta. So a little bit Atlanta, then we was in Philly for a good little bit.
That's
and
right.
then, you know, came back to Atlanta, and then, you know, everything just fell apart from there.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were, out of all the countries, which one did you like the most?
Oh man.
That's what I want to
But see,
always
here's the
ask you.
thing.
I'm like, which one? Because you got the chance to stay in Mexico for a considerable amount of time, and I know you guys like you were out and about in the city. Which one did you like the most?
It's kind of hard to say which one I like the most because I have different reasons why each one stands out. But just to make it simple, man, I don't know why, man, but it's something about Panama.
You know, I was only in Panama. I was on a layover only for 4 hours. Didn't get a chance to experience it really. Do you know Panama has every major bank in the world there?
No, I didn't know.
Yep. It's a hidden gem.
You know, we went on that type of stuff, but it's something about Panama, man. I don't know. It's just, there's just something about that place, man. It's really nice.
Do you have any aspirations on traveling in the future?
You know what, man?
Go.
You know what, man? What I learned is that it doesn't really matter where you go geographically. It's really about the quality of the people around you. And so as far as traveling, I feel like that's not a priority for me right now because of the places I've been.
Right.
And the experiences I've had some terrible experiences in the most beautiful of places. And so now what I'm learning, especially being back home, it's some invaluable people in my life, man, that really make, you know, this little country town in Georgia in its own way more special than Cancun, Mexico, or Costa Rica, because it's something about seeing somebody that you spent your early developing years with, and seeing them, you know, and knowing that they've had their own struggles, but they're continuing to go, and how we had no idea in second, third grade that we be here 34 years old. And it's like exciting to see where we gonna be. And it's also like kind of frightening to know who won't be with you in the next 35 years.
Yeah.
So I have this newfound value in people
The people you
than
love.
I do in the geography of my you know what I'm saying? In my geographical location. So I'm telling you, man, I find value in the craziest places like Walmart. I literally inserted myself into a situation where I'm a value extractor. Like people can go to Walmart and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go in here. I'm gonna put this in my car and I'm gonna go scan it and I'm gonna leave. I'd be in there like finding a way to help somebody, and I don't even work at Walmart.
Right.
I find a way to engage with somebody that may, you know, they may look interesting, like not trying to have a full-fledged conversation, but it could be something as simple as, rather than treating the cashier like they're a robot and like hurry up and scan my items and give me my change, I try to make people realize like, hey man.
Well, you need to come to the Walmart that's nearby me. You need to come out there because that's the bootleg Walmart. That's the bootleg one. You do got the bootleg Walmarts, okay? I may got some good ones, but this one is totally bootleg. Please come out there and save these people. Please come and save these people. Thank you kindly.
People are the greatest thing you ever gonna have. So don't get caught up in, you know, your Mercedes or your Louis bag or whatever, because your ass gotta get old one day.
That's right.
And when you in the hospital bed, you ain't gonna be asking them, hey, can y'all bring my clothes? You're gonna be looking for people to come see your ass. So after spending so many years talking down on people, you ain't this because your hair green, and you ain't this because you eat this. I really don't give a shit, because everybody I meet, I see that same light shining through your eyes, that's shining through my eyes, that beyond all of the things we act like that make us so different. Like I ain't on that black shit, I ain't on that white shit, I ain't on that melanin shit. I'm not on that man should do this and woman should do this, because the only thing I see is the very thing that make all of us human. That's the only thing I'm even trying to highlight. I heard somebody say, I think it was Kevin Gates, I don't know if it was his original quote, but it don't matter. I found a very significant amount of value in this statement, is that the world is not as it is, but it is as we see it. And so somebody who sees the world as hell, that's something wrong with them, not the world.
Right.
And that's why I had to separate. And the funny thing about Nature Boy is this disloyalty. It's this, he's trying to sell this disloyalty narrative.
Right.
Oh, what I realized is that the way you view the world, I don't look out my window and see the same shit.
Right.
You look out the window and see hell because of what the hell you've went through. When I look out in the world, I see people that are trying to make it the best way they can in a time that they didn't choose to be in. So even with all these school shootings and all this shit like that, I still see humanity as an overall good thing. But for you to get to a place in yourself where all of this is hell and you can't wait for it to be destroyed, nigga, you got issues. And you have literally lost all hope. And that ain't my damn fault. And I choose not to subscribe to that, and I'm disloyal. Your ass crazy. And nigga, when the hell did friendships become goddamn permanent contracts? This nigga act like I took a blood oath. Nigga, I don't know you for real. Let's stop. And the funny thing about the cult leader is that this nigga still be calling people by the cult names. Nigga, it's not that deep. This nigga act like we go way back like a Cadillac, like we was on the playground together. Nigga, I just met you. Nigga, let it go. This nigga will not let this nature boy shit go. Nigga, it's okay.
I'm glad you had that perspective because yeah, he was trying to play on your emotions when he said that you left and then he talked about loyalty.
Nigga, I don't really know you. And I'm like, why is it so hard for you to accept that shit, nigga? We met online. You don't really know me. I don't really know you. I recognize that I thought you thought a certain type of way. You repeatedly over time did not settle on one agenda, but rather you changed your agenda in an unstable way. And I decided that I no longer wanted to be unstable.
That spell was broken, sir. Like you said, that geographical change is all you need. It's broken. Yep.
I'm like, my boy.
Yeah, that's broken.
My boy, it's all right, man. Everybody, it's like a nigga you knew in high school. Like, well, we ain't friends no more, bro. I ain't seen you in 10 years.
Question is, how do you still feel the same way about astrology?
I do not subscribe to astrology at all.
Okay. Yeah, that's all the way broken. Them teachings is done. And, you know, like I had said before, Aaron, like it could be one thing you said today, just one thing that could help somebody. Not even just them. It could be somebody randomly just listening right now that might have went through something with their family, went through something with their significant other that they're trying to break. You know?
I'm telling you, man, look, at first I was like, man, I'm getting all the way off the internet. I'm about to stay off the internet so long, niggas forget I exist. I want niggas forget I was even in carbonation. But I was like, no, man. I was like, I want to be an example that people like use me in a way like, if this nigga can get out of the cult, nigga, I can at least get another job.
That's right. That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, nigga, if this nigga can get out of the cult, nigga, I can live pay off.
Your story can help people in so many ways. They don't just have to be in a cult, like you said. It could be transition to another job.
I'm saying, like, my nigga, if this nigga can get out of the cult, nigga, I can pay off this credit card. I'm gonna go pay this shit out.
See, that's right.
I'm gonna go ahead. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave this nigga or this chick. You know, if this nigga can get out of the cult, nigga, nigga, I'm saying, bro, like, yeah, bro.
I can take that trip I always wanted to take without being afraid to travel alone, something like that.
I'm telling you, bro, something, bro, something.
Y'all have any more questions for Aaron?
You've been asking all the questions.
I never really subscribed to astrology either. I read up on it, but you know, I don't never really. I'm not into signs or anything. Like, you know, I never really been into it myself. Never really. Some people are really deep into it, and I get it, but I don't know.
Yeah, man. And another thing, like, I just don't have the compulsion to try to convince somebody out of the way that they think. If you rock with astrology, okay, fine. Me personally, I just don't subscribe to it. I don't consider it to be an accurate roadmap for the direction I need to go in my life. So I used that shit for 4 years.
Right. Midwife said, "How do you think the experiences may affect your job?"
And like I keep saying, man, I'm gonna maintain this stance at all times. I'm not no childhood psychologist. I'm not none of that. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I hate people who sell spirituality like it's a product. I don't know.
Right.
But one thing I will say is that I'm doing the best I can.
That's right.
Not to transfer any of that negative energy onto him that I may have picked up from the cult or also with my own childhood trauma that I might not even be aware of myself. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it would be actually ignorant of me to act like, oh yeah, it's this, this, and this. Like, nigga, there's people out there that study children, and that's all they do. And I happen to not be one of those people.
Right.
And I don't. And because I'm not in a cult no more, with this need to make y'all feel like I got all the damn answers in the world, keys to the fucking you ain't even got the damn keys to your car, but you got the keys to the universe. Where the keys at? You got the keys to the universe, no keys to the damn car. I don't know, and I don't have the issue making it known that I don't.
You know, my mother used to say, kids don't come with a manual. She said, we had to just work with it every day. That's what she told me.
I'm telling you, man, there's really not no blueprint or strategy guide on how to raise an individual that's not like anybody that's ever been born, or therefore anybody that will be born in the future. Like, of course, there's people out here that, you know, academically are more inclined to recognize behavior patterns, but as we've seen with humanity, sometimes people do things that's never been seen before. So what do you recommend to a parent that has a child that's doing something you've never seen?
Mm-hmm. Miss
So,
Leo said, are you considering having more children, you and Kendra?
oh no, I'm done, man.
Are you done?
One and done. And the reason I say that is because
Miss Leo.
I
Miss
feel
Leo
like
said that.
having children is often not given the proper preparation that it should. And so I think that what I want to do is do the best I can with the child that I do have, rather than, you know, people acting like the more kids you have, the better you've done for humanity. But no, that's it. John's the last
that's
one,
all
did
right.
the first one, and the last one.
Yeah, that's all right.
Great
I
question.
mean, I have aunts that have no kids. My uncle, he didn't have any kids either, so it's like it's not a mandatory thing. And I'm glad I did have the one, because it's an experience you can't get anywhere else.
Right. That is what's up. Yeah, it's let me see what we have. I don't know. What do you think about the drone and the? Oh yeah, you
That's
mentioned
been
that
why
earlier. The drone and the
I only
contraband.
Yeah.
That was. Let me tell you, Aaron, before you say something about that.
hold
When I
on.
first heard about that,
Hold on. I was supposed to have one too, but I was tricked. I was tricked. Damn it. I was stuck at one that I was tricked. Many years later, I was tricked. I was minding my business and I was tricked. Damn it.
right? I didn't believe it. I say, nah, it is no way that happened until they mentioned it in court. And I was like, oh my God. And then somebody told me, Max, this happened before. Like, that's not out of the ordinary. It's, well, they don't know about that particular jail, but they said it's been done before. But
See, I
not,
didn't hear that.
yeah.
I thought this was first of its kind.
Oh no, it's happened before. I can't remember where it was. They attempted to fly a drone. It was in a field though. And then the person tried to retrieve it in the field. This one was different. This is like a building in the city, you know, trying to fly a drone to a window. And they said the story had that the drone fell and the police were able to retrieve it from the ground.
Right.
And they knew that he was the one that was trying to retrieve it. That was the story they told in court. That's a totally separate case other than this one. I don't know. They're not going to try that the same, but
here's my thing though. Like, even beyond the drone is the decision to give out the instructions on
yeah.
a recorded phone.
Yeah, recorded line.
Which it's definitely you, and you know who it is that you're talking to.
Yeah.
So it's like, in what world Like, did y'all press down back for XB and put in a cheat code where they couldn't hit y'all, where they couldn't hear y'all on the phone? Because I don't know what world they thought that was going to be a good idea in, but a recorded line.
Recorded line.
A recorded line.
That's why I didn't believe it at first. Because I'm like, well, the line is sure he knows that the line is recorded because it says it in the beginning. But that's what they said. They said that the drone went up to the window, tried to retrieve it, everything fell. And the police at the bottom, they were able to pick it up. I said, wow. And my question was it done at night or was it done during the day? You know?
It's kind of difficult to fly a drone at night because you wouldn't be able to tell how close it is to the building.
That's true.
I would imagine they did it in broad daylight, and he told them,
golly,
just to get the Harry Potter invisibility cloak, and they won't even see it. He probably told them they couldn't see it, you know, with the whole same color. They said he told them it'll be camouflage.
God dang
it. They
it.
was like, okay.
God dang it.
That's unbelievable to me. But
Unbelievable.
they said this happened before.
Well, he would have did the same thing.
Sat said, do you have any stories nobody's ever seen or heard before?
No, Sat.
Everything is on video, like you said. There's so many things we've seen on video, but
I pretty much talked about almost everything.
You did, and also this is not the first time you came on. You had said some stuff previously.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think so. Like,
yeah,
I was very adamant about letting people know what actually happened. You know, I because for me, I know that it would be very refreshing to see the women that are still there finally say, hey, this is what actually happened. So I took it upon myself to do that, you know, for people who may felt the same way about me, because I know from the outside looking in, it looked like I was this dedicated soldier for the, you know, for whatever. So it's like, you know, but no, I done said everything that I recall happening.
Right.
Especially not even just on here, but on other platforms as well.
Right. Yeah, I listened to you on other platforms. This is not the first time you came here. You were really transparent on a lot of stuff. You really was.
Because I feel like, I mean, I'm amazed at how Nature Boy lies for so long. Like, I would think, like, I feel like lying gets exhausting, like, just to your own self. Like,
not for a liar.
I just got tired of lying. I'm like, bro, this, not to mention it's recorded as well. So it's like, I don't have a narrative to defend no more. And so just speaking the truth was a release for me.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Here's a question though. How do you feel about the 7-year plea deal? They offered him the ladies shared documents. They offered to not prosecute the more severe charge, and they kept the false imprisonment, and they also kept the 3 other charges of the revenge. Right. They said 7 years in, and the rest probation.
Man, I was highly disappointed. Because
tell us.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years does not. It's not equivalent to the amount of things that I know this person has done.
Oh,
not to mention the things that I haven't seen.
Do tell. Tell us
7 years is more like armed robbery or something like that. You know what I mean? Like aggravated assault or something like that.
Go tell Tabitha that.
This dude did it, said it, and showed it on the camera. Some of it not on the camera. 7 years don't add up. And I know that this person is sorry for 2004 only because he got caught. Only because he's in jail. Prior to that, he didn't care about going to jail. You couldn't lock him up. He was God. Now you're being persecuted. So my thing is, I was disappointed when I seen the 7 because I'm like, bruh.
Yep, 7 years.
7 years, bruh. Nah, man.
Yeah, and he said that he's not accepting 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do because you can't really take nothing he say for face value. So you don't really know what he's gonna do. So pretty much, if you hear this dude talk, you might well just wait to see what really gonna happen.
I agree. Just wait and see. You know, if there's a trial, I believe when I see it like that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, just we wait and see.
Because, like I told you, his main priority in life is protecting his social media image. So I doubt he would even admit to taking a plea deal, even if he did. He'd probably say somebody took his hand and made him sign the paperwork when he wasn't looking.
Yeah.
And so they forged his signature on the plea deal.
You know, before he even signed, the judge will admonish him and say, you know, were you coerced into signing this plea? That they actually have a hearing on that first. They have some type of hearing before he signed. Yeah, so he wouldn't even be able to he wouldn't even be able to tell that story.
Oh no, I'm talking about he'd probably tell it to Instagram and YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Because it's almost as if
Leo,
he acts as if he loses Nature Boy, his life is over. I'm like, dude, you can do something else, bro.
Right.
But I guess he feels like he's invested too much into this, and Nature Boy, the idea of Nature Boy has to work. But I know that what is being said and done on the camera, because I've witnessed it myself, may not be in accordance with what's happening off camera. So you cannot take anything they say
we know that
as
already.
true, because their number one priority is protecting the narrative that you're on a spiritual path and this is the Messiah. So
yeah.
Because they haven't mentioned the drone, have they? As if we don't know about that.
Yeah.
They haven't stayed. They're just gonna act like that didn't happen. They're gonna act like Juju and Jax didn't get arrested.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's fine. Yeah. What part of the spiritual path is that? Persecution doesn't count when you're doing it to yourself.
Right. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that arrest.
I'm telling you, but I already know. The thing about it is, I guess they feel more comfortable lying to y'all, but it's comedy to me because I'm like, nigga, I was there.
Right.
Nigga, I was there. I lied better than y'all did. Like, and I'm looking at y'all shit like, nigga, y'all ain't even believable. At least I can talk good.
Right.
Y'all can't even talk good. This shit don't even look believable no more.
Yeah, I saw a video of he was out in front of the courthouse today.
Lord.
I think it was Juju.
Dumby.
But he wasn't really saying anything for me to listen to,
You know you down bad when your number one spokesperson is damn Juju.
That's what I try to tell you.
You down bad. you down bad. That is your number one publicist.
Yeah.
But I guess see, I consider them to be, and I just made this up. I consider them to be in the psychological stage known as kamikaze. They just gonna crash this shit.
Mm.
It don't gotta make sense no more. It don't matter what it looked like. We just gonna crash this shit.
Mm.
They ain't worried about making sense. They ain't worried about nothing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
Just
what it
crash
seemed
this
like.
shit. Kamikaze, just crash this
Yep.
shit. Fly drones and get arrested and go to shelters and just crash this shit.
Just crash it.
Just crash it, nigga. We can't. They acting like they really think because it's been suggested to them over and over again that there's nothing else. They really think that there's no life outside of this shit that they're doing. And so they're acting accordingly.
Man, that's something else.
But I mean, it's called conditioning.
Right.
If somebody tells you, if you hear the same shit over and over again, regardless of how ridiculous it is or how much evidence it lacks, you will believe it over time.
Right. And like you said before,
Yeah.
if there's a situation where he blows trial, then we'll see what's going to happen at that point.
And see, and that's why I don't get outside of the public paperwork. If I offer an opinion or a theory, I make sure I assert that beforehand. What I'm looking at right now, I don't give a damn what nobody on YouTube is trying to speculate. What I'm looking at right now is that they're in a stage in which they're trying to discuss potential affairs before a trial.
Right.
When it goes to trial, I know that a jury will be involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that jury will ultimately decide what the fate is as far as guilty and not guilty. And then the judge will determine how long, if convicted, that sentence will be. So right now, somewhere in DeKalb County is a handful of people that's gonna wrap this thing up.
Yep.
And I don't know who they are. I don't know where they are. But I damn sure be glad when they get them together and we get this thing moving. Because all that speculation, it's just smoke. It's just smoke until the real paperwork and the real decisions is made. So I don't even play. I don't even play with the smoke. I sit back and I go to that website, and if I see it posted, then I know it's official. Because DeKalb County ain't trolling. They really work for the damn legal system. They are the legal system. So where we at right now, don't nobody know what's gonna happen any further than where we are now. And that's what I'm saying.
You know what, Sat? I don't know why he didn't monetize. Sat was wondering why he never monetized and just sold his teachings.
Well, he couldn't do that because he had to be underneath the agenda of, cosmic currency.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he had to do that. Yeah, he had to sell that narrative that, you can't work for money, you're working for the system. It's evil. You can't serve God and money. So
That's right. I remember him saying, yeah, it just comes to you, right?
yeah, but even with people saying, that's a good question. I ask myself that too, Shane, as far as what's their end game, but we'll never be able to tell. You have people that literally die believing in cult leaders even after conviction. And you have people who eventually come to their ability to reason and leave. Now, how long that's going to take? I mean, it could be next week. It could be 5 years. You just never know. It's like, unless you're this psychological expert when it comes to these things, it's really predetermined, man. But I personally don't think, because they don't have enough of a motive, I don't think they're going to do anything unless a critical situation happens where they don't have housing, they don't have money for food, or he gets sentenced to a amount of time that's not even fathomable for them to even consider putting their life on hold for.
Right.
So it has to be something that affects them to the point where it's able to break up, because they're comfortable now. They're comfortable. All they got to do is cut on the camera and sit there and say the same thing they've been saying for the last 4 years. But people tend to act different when the heat gets to a certain degree.
Yeah, even right now, that getting in front of the camera and stuff, the courts put that to a stop. They put an emergency gag order in.
I seen that, but you
Yeah.
gotta understand, you're not dealing with people that live in reality or even fully considering the potential consequences.
Oh yeah.
They don't care nothing about no gag order.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
They didn't even care about the conditions of the bond that they got 24 hours prior. You get a bond 24 hours later, potentially less. You violate the conditions of the bond that you got.
Right. Yeah, yeah, that hasn't stopped. They have been quiet so far, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, and they've done that before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The only reason they're quiet is for two reasons. One, something serious happened to the point where maybe they don't even want to risk the consequences of not being quiet. Two, they can't talk to him and they don't know what the hell to do, so they don't do shit. That's the only two reasons they're quiet.
Mm. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, like they not able to talk to him.
Yeah, because without no orders, what does a person do who doesn't think for themselves on a regular basis? What do they do when the source of their instructions is no longer giving instructions? You sit there and don't do nothing.
Right.
Or something serious has happened.
Right. Yeah, that's
But we'll see. They could potentially pop up,
right.
you know, and it's not going to be anything surprising. It'll be the same rhetoric. Somebody's doing something to them, and it's an injustice. The same thing.
Yeah, that could be it. Like something happened, or they're just waiting.
Or they're just waiting.
Yep. Because it could be a situation where they just totally take away his privileges. He can only talk to his lawyer.
I'm telling you, that's what the gag order. What's going on, babe? I see you in here.
Oh, hey, Kendra.
I was
Yeah, it's something else, man. It's I tell you, Aaron, when I heard about that drone, I almost hit the floor.
But we was listening to your
Because I couldn't.
we was
Somebody said,
listening-
"No, Max, it happened. You just got to go
Right.
look at the document." I said, "It didn't happen." I didn't believe it until I heard them talk about it in court.
But we was laughing at your commentary about this. I'm telling you, bro, I've been observing.
Dude, Aaron, the drone. Could you just for a second? Could you just see yourself? Okay, let me go buy a drone to color the building. It didn't. It didn't. I didn't believe it. Didn't believe it.
Bruh, I'm telling you, man, like on the outside looking in from a unclouded perspective, this stuff looked absolutely crazy. But when you're underneath cult influence,
Yeah.
brainwashing,
Yeah, that's true.
whatever you mind control, whatever you want to call it, but some of the most ridiculous things make sense to you.
And then I heard it in court. And then I heard it in court. I said it really did happen.
Yeah,
I'm thinking contraband, like somebody tried to smuggle it in.
Yeah.
And somebody was just trolling, talking about the drone, but that's what they said it in court. They said it was a drone. And I said, then I'm thinking to myself, what type of drone was it? To, like what type of drone was it? And why would you say that on the phone? Why would you say have it the same color as the building?
Max, I didn't even make it to the the specifications of the drone, the dimensions of the drone. I just could not understand the process and how you reach the conclusion to
Desperation.
deliver these orders on a recorded lines, fly a paper airplane.
Oh, you know what my theory was? I had a theory on it. He probably did that so they can check him in, so he can be segregated from the population.
But my thing is, why do you want to be separated from the population when you're Caesar from Planet of the Apes?
I know, but
They
they,
should
yeah,
be on their knees in guerrilla fashion.
yeah. My cousin said he could have did that to get an infraction where they have to isolate him.
No,
And
that
see,
wasn't it.
like, and that
That
takes
wasn't
me
it.
back to, and I like that word privy. You're the first person I heard use that word on a regular basis.
Oh shit!
Take it. There are people who are aware of certain behaviors because of the environments they've been exposed to. I wouldn't have never known nothing about that, but
Right.
somebody who spent time in jail or in prison would be able to easily determine that as, oh, he probably trying to do X, Y, and Z. Because a logical reason can't be assumed on how somebody would orchestrate orders. It's not like you said it in code either.
Right.
You didn't use code words. You delivered a plain, regular English transmission on how to conduct illegal activity on a recorded line.
Yep.
I guess it is desperation. I guess, but I'm trying to understand, why does the King of the Apes, part 1, 2, and 3, why does he want to be separated from the other apes?
Just he in there with a bunch of gorillas that don't care.
Uh-huh.
That's like your cousin, 14 years old, and you 8, and you thinking he can play basketball until y'all go to the basketball court with the other 14-year-olds and realize this nigga can't play.
Right.
Damn. Got
That's it.
Nature Boy being a gorilla.
Yep.
He's 6'2" around a bunch of people that's 5'9". He get around other people that's 6'2". You like, oh, this nigga can't fight. You like, oh, damn.
And they said that he got stabbed in there, and that's enough for him to want to be isolated.
Why he didn't use his superpower?
I know, right?
He 100% downloaded by now. Cause it been June 5th 2 times. So shit should have, some divine stardust should have been imported in through Pluto by now.
Man,
God, man, that nigga must be buffering. Cause
it's been a year and what, 3 months now. I
I'm
think.
telling you, he should be running DeKalb County, but he should be swinging from the damn outside of the building now, the way he was talking on the outside. And I'm trying to, you should be having all the monkeys in DeKalb County. And this is DeKalb County. You act like this San Quentin. He act like he in Rikers Island.
Man.
As much gorilla talk as you was talking, you can't run DeKalb County.
He don't have any control in there.
Man, he's supposed to have them boys doing jumping jacks at 6 o'clock and the cell doors slide open.
But look, check this out.
Left, right, left.
Check this out. So today to 29, it was a continuance. How do we know they might not come back and say, you know what? We'll have the next court date in August. We don't know. They could say August or September. I mean, I'm pushing it. I know they trying to get this trial, but we don't know. And he don't know.
No, don't nobody know, but it's two things that I've been paying attention to. They've been quiet for a couple of days now after that big broadcast on, malicious prosecution and all those affairs, and you've gone silent. The scheduled pretrial was continued for an undetermined reason that I don't have right now. But I will say that the trial weeks, the next trial weeks is July 17th and the 24th, and that still gives them a full 2 weeks. Well, you know what? It don't give them a full 2 weeks because of the holiday.
A holiday.
So it's like a week and a half.
Okay.
So they got a week and a half to reschedule because the courts they might reschedule them tomorrow. But I don't seen them do that. I don't seen them shift them up a day or two. But okay, more than likely, I don't know how the fourth gonna work this year because it's on a Tuesday. But they could bring them in Monday on the 3rd. But if they don't, they got between July the 5th and July the 14th, because the 15th and the 16th is a weekend to reschedule this pretrial and still get it in time for the originally scheduled trial weeks. But like you said, man, they could push this thing back to September, and they can't do nothing about it but make another video.
Right. I know
when
a
is the
person's been waiting
pre-scheduled
since
trial?
2017, still hasn't had a trial yet. And it's
I
in
heard-
DeKalb County. And now he's appealing it. It's in the appeals court now. It didn't even get the trial, but something went wrong with the whole investigation that they have to appeal it before the trial.
Now, peep this, right?
Uh-huh.
The only thing I thought about when you said that was, I bet that dude's delay, I could be wrong, but I bet his delay was heavily affected by COVID.
Yeah, that too. Yep.
COVID over now, they doing court in person. So I'm thinking, now this was my original thing. I said they're gonna wrap this thing up by August 1st.
Uh-huh.
But I could be wrong. This thing could go on, like you said. I don't see why it would go. I said at the absolute most, this thing will not make it to 2024. Ain't no way.
We'll see after July. If nothing happens after the end of July, then we know this is going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I just don't see it, because what else could be the holdup?
That's what I'm thinking. It shouldn't be no holdup now.
I'm saying they got the discovery.
Right.
They got the witnesses. They got the statements. They got the evidence, video, text messages, phone calls. Like what else? At this point, it's like, let's go ahead and send out them jury cards, because I know for one, I feel like this jury, from what I understand how the jury process works, this jury ain't gonna be a simple, hey, come to jury. They're gonna have to select these people in a more intricate way. Is that a false assumption?
Oh no, you're right. They're gonna work on the jury. They'll find people of the jury that don't know anything about them.
That's what I was thinking, because I was like, ain't they gonna have to find somebody that don't know about this dude?
And if they do, they will question them, and then both sides will decide on the jury. And then once they seat the jury, that's it.
I feel like the fairest trial would be all the jurors not knowing who he is, because contrary to what we may think in our involvement with it, there's people in DeKalb County that don't know who the hell this dude is.
Right. And just imagine them looking at the evidence for the first time. How would they feel?
I'm telling you, and that's what I'm saying. They're looking at it. The people who are still involved in the cult, they're looking at it from a white man system trying to keep a black man down. But from an unbiased, I don't know you. And my thing is, this dude could have been white.
Right.
Nature Boy could have been white, and people would have still been like, this nigga crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't got, nigga, it's your behavior that's crazy, not your skin color. If a white dude had white women doing the shit Nature Boy was doing, people would still reach the conclusion, this nigga crazy.
Yeah, they're not going to have a problem seating the jury. They're not going to have a problem.
I'm telling you.
They definitely will be able to seat the jury. Definitely will.
Oh man.
And they have experience with cults anyway. Dr. York was in that same county.
Oh, for real?
Yep, they have a lot of experience with cults there.
I thought Dr. York was in Eatonton.
I want to
No.
say, let me not say DeKalb. Maybe he wasn't
I
in
thought he
DeKalb.
was in Eatonton, Georgia.
Yeah, because when they arrested him, because when his property, that wasn't in DeKalb, that was in
I was about to say that was somewhere else.
yeah. But that state is aware of his situation though.
Yeah, he was Dr. York was arrested as he was walking into a grocery store in Eatonton, Georgia. But that don't mean that that's where they're oh, it says Putnam County.
Oh, Putnam County. Okay.
Yeah, it says the former head of a Putnam County court now serving 135-year sentence.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he could have taken a plea deal, but he didn't.
Man, that man, boy, God, 135 years.
Yep.
There wasn't even no point to even do that.
Yep. Dr.
There
York.
wasn't no point. Yeah, but the crazy part about it is I'm from Georgia and I ain't hear about Dr. York until I got grown. I ain't even know this dude was in Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, he started out in New York. Then he moved on to Georgia and bought some property.
Yep.
And yeah, that was a crazy case.
I ain't know nothing about that, man.
Yep. That
But
was a crazy case.
the thing about the narrative as it comes to, white system, black man, it's a sympathy strategy. But the sympathy strategy only works if you didn't have video footage of you literally recording your own self doing criminal things.
I can only imagine what videos they're gonna use in court.
Bro, I be thinking about the videos that I know somebody who's an unbiased, competent citizen, if they seen and heard this dude. Now, here's the thing. We low-key done got used to some of the stuff. It's like your crazy uncle. He drunk. You ain't even blinking an eye. But to your friends, they like, what wrong with him? You like, oh, he's just like that. But you got to think what type of impact it's going to have on somebody that's never heard of this dude, ever. Some of the stuff this nigga has said is going to send people into an emotional state where they're going to be like, oh, this nigga is crazy.
Yep. I can only imagine what videos they're gonna pick.
I'm
and
telling
the
you.
jury's reaction.
And here's the thing, right? They clearly, the cult members, they clearly have discovery evidence because they've orchestrated videos with content that we know they otherwise would not have had access to if it wasn't for the discovery. And the gag order stated that the prosecution gave the defense the discovery, and the defense gave the discovery to the defendant, who then gave the discovery to his quote unquote wives. My thing is the video evidence that they put out, they only put out evidence that supported them. I am interested in the video content that they didn't post.
Oh,
Right. Yeah, it's whatever they had, because he said something. He said, if they convict me, that this is what they're doing to me. So he had that in the back of his mind if he get convicted. So there's something, if the jury looks at it, I don't know. Or like you said, he could at the last minute say, I'll go ahead and take the plea deal.
Man, it's really like, I maintain my stance because I'm biased. I'm biased. I'm leaning towards one side all the way, but I have to maintain my stance that I'm not a legal professional, and this thing is a lot deeper than law and order. shows.
Oh no, I'm taking what you're saying into heavy consideration, because if you say he's guilty, then I'm saying it's a risk for him to take it to trial. Then
He said
I'm
he's
just
guilty.
saying
100%
that,
You
risk.
said he was guilty
but
already.
I'm just adding in the piece that
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be on the jury. So
Right.
me saying he guilty don't hold no weight. You understand what I'm saying? Just like them talking to Twitter and Instagram and YouTube ain't holding no weight. Ain't none of these folks on YouTube gonna be. What y'all hoping that some magical way
right,
one
Jack.
of the jurors is gonna see these videos, and when they get to the courtroom, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing that video y'all posted." Don't worry, I know he's an innocent man.
Yeah, the jury, you don't know how they're gonna take this.
They are lit. They in their mind, when they think about the world, in their mind that means YouTube and Instagram.
Yep.
They really think every time they go live that they got the attention of the United States. Like this is a damn
Unique.
State of the Union. Y'all gotta.
That's why I'm
understand,
listening.
You may not know that, but when they go live, they in their mind it's a State of the Union address. And everybody from Africa to Ireland to Antarctica and the International Space Station is watching them. So they think in their mind they talking to the world. That's why they go on Instagram and YouTube so much, because they think that somebody's gonna get this video and be like, "Oh, Nature Boy is innocent. We gotta do something." But they're talking to people that have no bearing on the outcome of the case. There's an old white dude in DeKalb County that don't know nothing about no damn YouTube and Instagram. There's a Chinese lady. Do you know this is Atlanta? They have all types of people. They're gonna get an Indian dude, a Chinese dude, a Korean dude, a black dude. They're gonna be like, "You ever heard of Nature Boy?" They're gonna be like, "Who the hell is Nature Boy?" All right, you're on board.
Oh, really?
They thinking that in their mind, they think everybody in the world got a YouTube and Instagram. And that this is some type of call to action. They think that you gonna hop up out your seat and go to damn the news stations in Atlanta and say, "Nature Boy's innocent. We gotta do something."
Yeah, I'm just gonna be shaking my head.
Ain't nobody about to stop what they doing.
Nope.
Juju, the only person out there with that hot ass shirt, sweating, talking to nobody.
Please don't let him be a witness.
You want your position, true?
If he's a witness, man.
Boy, let me tell you, they'll be like, "Sir, no, man, you know he ain't no witness, man.
Man,
He ain't no witness, man." I don't think it would be a good idea for anybody to be a witness on Nature Boy's behalf, because they're not mentally equipped to handle the questions that the prosecution are going to ask, because they're already having an internal battle of saying what's real versus saying what's going to get them in trouble and what's going to make them look bad. So that's a constant battle that a cult member has, because your number one priority is making the group look good, whether that be live or not. But you never make the group look bad. So if they get their ass up there and say he's a good man, he's a Messiah, man,
Lord.
that shit gonna, nigga, do you know what the jury gonna be like? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. They up there on the stand talking about he couldn't have done it because his moon is in Cancer.
Oh my God.
You ain't right.
Y'all don't get y'all ass
You ain't
off
right.
this damn stand.
Man, if that happens, oh my God.
Oh, I'm done.
Think about anybody. Think about anybody who still support Nature Boy. Who do you have confidence as a witness on his behalf?
Yeah, I don't.
Nobody.
Yeah.
No damn body. These people pretending like they support him, but you can't help this man dig a hole that he put himself in. What you gonna do? You better stay on Bigo, because you do not have the mental acumen to even understand the vocabulary words of a seventh grader, let alone will you be able to determine the legal phrases they will be using in that courtroom. You stay out there
Go ahead, tell it.
and you talk on Vigo.
Yeah, the jury will definitely be I don't know. Like, yeah, see, we've seen this for many years, but the jury is not going to know anything about this. Yeah.
And like I said, you got to understand the impact of hearing some of this stuff
Right.
for the first time. We don't got numb to it.
Right.
We expect it. We're not even surprised by it.
Right.
There's people that are, like you said, Kojic. I took that from you too.
Oh my God, the Kojic people. Oh my God.
It's some people that is church going, fan waving, Toyota Camry driving.
Church of God in Christ. That's Kojic.
I'm telling you, these folks is, you know, they still roll pennies in the paper. When these folks hear some of this stuff, they're gonna be shocked and appalled. But I also keep my stance. As much as I want this to go a certain type of way, it is out of my control. This is the outcome of this is completely in the hands of the judicial system. And if it goes to trial, it's all jury, man. But and you know, I'm gonna be on edge if we don't get no, real time visuals, and I have to rely on somebody on YouTube, whoever decides, because I know it's going to be more than likely. I'll say there's a 90% chance that one of these YouTubers are going to go themselves, or they're going to have somebody in Atlanta sit in and report the ultimate verdict, and possibly, one of the local Atlanta stations could report it once it happens. But man, I think about that day all the time. It's like, when you about to graduate the last couple months of school, you just kind of like, it's like, man, here it come.
I truly believe it will end in a verdict. They will reach one probably.
But I still look, Max. He still could take a plea.
Yeah, he could. He could take a plea on the day of the trial. He could take a plea.
He could.
Day when the trial start.
He could, but you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna come. Just like the day you gonna die, the day that this case is resolved, it will come. And I'm gonna be affected more than y'all will because I was directly involved. But a conclusion has to be reached, and I'm gonna have to live with whatever it is.
Yep, that's it. It's definitely gonna come.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
We just gotta be patient. It's coming.
Man, bro, like
he's dealing with professionals here. This is what they do for a living. So it'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I was pretty confident that today we was gonna get some type of forward progress, but here it is, a continuance, and I'm pretty confident that the case will be heard this. Well, I might as well say this month because today's the last day in June anyway. I originally said August 1st there'll be a resolution, but like you said, bro, they could literally be like, nah, September. And
would you want to go in person if it's not live stream?
Bro, and so let me tell you this. I allow myself the option to change my mind.
Okay.
My original stance was no, because I didn't want to have no engagements with people who are unstable mentally, because I don't want to go to jail.
Right, I understand.
I don't want to meet up with. I don't know what type of time Edgar and Giuliano or is on.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm afraid or terrified.
Yeah, I would stay away too. Then
I just know how to avoid conflict. I don't know what type of time these dudes on. They already going to jail and doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, I would stay away
You don't
too.
want to be in
And
jail
it
and
ain't
he
worth
call
it.
your
It ain't
name.
worth
It's
me
not worth
going
it.
to jail. It ain't worth nobody getting hurt. It ain't worth me getting hurt. I'm watching it from a safe distance.
Yeah, there's gonna definitely be somebody in Georgia that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Law and Crime Network, they were looking to just get footage. They may try to
I wish I could go, boy. Yeah, the
or
drone
the
system.
news will report it. We'll get some type of
I
information
would
somehow.
love to go, man. If I could,
Yeah.
I would.
And I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I don't need to be there. The only thing I need to hear is
Guilty.
the verdict. That's it.
That's it.
Everything else that's happening in between now and then, you know, people breaking up and people sharing their opinions. Man, what's the verdict, man? That's
Right.
what that's all I want to know. What is the verdict? And I don't care how I get it. I don't care if I get it through YouTube. I'm gonna go double check and make sure it was accurate.
Right.
Well, I know when it does come out, that's gonna be the topic of discussion.
You damn Skippy.
Definitely
And
that
then,
day.
We would love to
and
be
the
there.
next thing after that is, how do the cult members respond?
Right. Because the appeals, that could take years. Just trying to appeal it. So yeah, and if he blows trial, like you said, 25 years, that's a long time.
Man, you can wrap that man up like a Christmas present if they give him 25.
Right.
You go ahead and wrap that up. Because it's rare you're going to find somebody that holds somebody down for 25 years.
Yeah, that's a long
That's
time.
rare. I'm sure there's story of people, you know.
It's rare.
It's extremely rare.
Yeah, it's extremely rare. A lot of things could take place within that time. They could meet someone else. Like you said, their mind state will change as they get older, like you said. So many variables that can happen
There's
between.
so many.
Yep.
And from the cult resources I've used so far, one thing that's also rare
What?
is cult members actually staying in cults. That's really rare that somebody stays in a cult. Because you would think, right, that people who were born in a cult would have almost an impossible
All right,
chance of
lady,
leaving
smoke.
because it's all they know. But that's not true. I've seen people tell their story about being born and raised in a cult from a baby. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's still something innate in all of us that
No, it
lets
ain't
us
looking
know when
weak.
something's right and when it's not right. And so no matter how much them women try to, you know, portray their abuser as this innocent man, that part of themselves that they can't fake it to, because they can fake it to y'all all day. But when they're by themselves, that part of themselves that is an indication of right and wrong, they're gonna have to deal with that. And over time, it gets louder, it gets louder, it gets louder, it gets louder, it gets louder.
Right.
But like I said, man, it's gonna be that geographical separation, and or it's gonna be something gonna have to happen severe that really gives them a reality check they can't ignore.
Right. Yeah, time will tell. Definitely time will tell. Well, Aaron, I definitely I enjoyed you on. You welcome anytime to come on. Guys, make sure you follow Aaron. His YouTube page is pinned to the comment section.
Woo. So I reckon they are finished. That was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. I don't think that the case is looking weak. If the case was looking weak, Paula, it's already been a year. They denied him bail 4 times. So the case may not be looking that weak. that they feel a certain way that they ain't even let him out. They ain't even let the man out on bail, which thought he was going to get. But I'm glad to see you guys. I'm glad you are here. Hopefully, I could be on tomorrow. I definitely can't be on here Tuesday. I don't think, unless it's like really early. Because Wednesday, it'll be time for the action. Work time. But I appreciate you guys. We've been here long enough. And I'm so glad you came in. I'm glad you're still supporting your sister, even though, she's in and out. I appreciate you guys. And hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow. So y'all have a great Sunday night. Thank you, Star Child. Welcome, sweetie. All right. I'm out of here, guys. I took up enough of your time. And if I'm not over here, then I'll be on my other channel. I will definitely be on my other channel. All right, guys. Peace out. Peace, Blanchy Pooh.